Wednesday edition. Good day to you. Good day to you. Welcome into the program. Brewers get a win last night. I was really torn last night as well. I got to admit. In a lot of ways, by the way. As I sat there and watched the Cubs and the Dodgers, I was really torn. Part of me was wanting the Cubs to lose. Part of me was wanting the Dodgers to lose so the Brewers could retain the best record in baseball. I was just, ultimately I was kind of hoping the Cubs would lose, and the Cubs ended up winning 5-1. And Skubal takes the loss, oddly enough, against the Cubs, but that was the whole thing just made me smile a little bit. Either way, I don't think we could have went wrong as long as the Brewers won. Kicker controversy. We started it yesterday talking with Mike Clemens. And then you go back and you listen to the audio that we played yesterday on the program of Matt LaFleur and Bill Huber and all the other media members that were asking questions. That was rather interesting within itself. As to the, if you want to call it this early in camp, a kicking controversy. I don't know if we want to go that far, but nevertheless, we kind of had that to nosh on a little bit. And we have got so much from inside the locker room. Micah Parsons, Matt LaFleur, Denai Dennis Sutton, Warren Brinson, Evan Williams. Baron Sorrell. We were going to hear from all kinds of guys inside the Packers locker room as camp continues on yet again. So camp continues on. So we got that. Other news and notes from around the rest of the NFL, Major League Baseball, all that kind of good stuff. So we got all kinds. By the way, the Bears, speaking of sources, Darnell Wright of the Chicago Bears, the big right tackle. He gets a 4-year contract extension today. So the Bears sealing him up for 4 years, $116 million to be one of the protectors of Caleb Williams. So the Bears making a little bit of a splash today as well. Got to say hi to everybody. Seats. Come on. Give it to them. Love all of our cheap seaters. Thank you so much for being here. As all of our viewers over in all the different streams, we appreciate you so much. I didn't even recognize you guys and girls yesterday. My apologies. I'm a SOB for that. So my apologies for not saying hello to you yesterday morning. If you want to call us, you can. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can text us 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. That's the text line. You can watch us on YouTube. Go to YouTube each and every day, and you can subscribe there for free. Go to youtube.com. That's youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. YouTube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can also find us on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find Grant at Wisco Grant. Easy enough right there. You can find us on the app. You can take us anywhere and everywhere and pay attention to us in that particular facet. Wisco Sports Zone. And then email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website simply thebillmichaels.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can make the meter move. We haven't really moved from yesterday. I think we lost one person, as a matter of fact, on Instagram. So you can follow us on Instagram. Please do. And you can follow us on Facebook and TikTok, The Bill Michaels Show. We're on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well. Catch the television show on Saturday nights, 8 o'clock Central Time. That is in the city of Milwaukee, 8 o'clock Central Time in Milwaukee on My 24 TV. Grant Bills, thank you for taking care of yesterday. Have you talked to Jim Ozarski at all?
No. Am I supposed to?
No, I didn't know if he would text you or anything or not. I forgot to text him back yesterday. So I left early yesterday because Jim and I have tried to play golf together for a long time, and we just haven't been able to get our schedules to mesh. So I took off a couple hours early yesterday and I went and played golf. We made it. We actually started off really, really well. Played well, both of us. Then the game kind of turned to crap, and then it started to turn around. We made the turn. And 2 holes into the second 9, I took a swing and I screwed my back up. I couldn't breathe. And so I told Jim, I took some leave. I'm like, I'll gut it out. So we got to about hole 13, and it was a par 3. And I took a couple of practice swings. He's like, you look better, But you know how it is when you practice. You're loose. You're just swinging. And then you tense up when you go to actually take the real swing. And I did. And it was like somebody was stabbing me. I finally said, Jim, I can't finish. So I took him up to the bar. I bought him dinner. And I mean, we had a nice time. We had a really good time. We, got a chance to talk a lot.
Yeah.
And, but yesterday I had to go from the golf course to Kristen's house because her cameras on her house are up high. She can't reach them. So I've got the ladder. So I took the ladder to her house and I look like a 95-year-old man trying to go up and down a ladder with the bad back. And so she said, well, let's come on out and sit down on the back patio. So I went out and her and I were talking at her house and I'm sitting there and I went to get up to leave and I could hardly get up. I was like hunched over like I'd been stabbed or shot in my lower back on my right side. And I'm driving kind of like crooked, trying to drive home. So I came home, I took a couple of Tramadol, which is kind of a muscle relaxer. And I went to bed last night. Today, I must say I'm much, much better, much, much better. Still feel it, but not like I did. But oh my God, it was terrible. And so I had to bail yesterday. So I owe Jim another round of golf. But
did you at least hurt it on a swing where you crushed the ball? Like, was it?
I did.
Was it a good
I did. Yes,
okay,
I did. As a matter of fact,
good.
The drive was terrible. It was a drive that ended up coming into the opposite fairway. So one fairway goes out, 10 goes out, and 11 comes back. And I was on 11 hitting into 10. And I was like, oh, God, And so I got up there and my next hit, I had to go up and over trees about 140 something yards out onto the green, back onto 10. And I hit this, really nice iron, got it up and over these tall, tall trees, landed it right there on the green. But at that point in time, I was done. I got up and I putted. I ended up parring the hole. And then the next one was, that was it. That was it. Skinny from Madison, Tramadol it's not a hardcore painkiller. No, it's not. I use it more, not when you're only getting like 5 milligrams. It's nothing. And it says right on it, for muscle relaxation on my bottle. So Anyway, but that's what I ended up doing yesterday. It was kind of rough, but back today.
You got through it. You're a real pro.
I'll tell you this, if today was State Fair Day, I would have struggled carrying the equipment and bringing everything in.
Yeah.
It would have been a rough day today. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about going down and setting up tonight so I don't have to bring all the equipment in tomorrow and set up tomorrow. I'm thinking maybe I can just go down there and get it all set up tonight. So I might do that. But that being said, boy, I tell you what, I was laying in bed last night. I took the Tramadol and I'm laying there and I got to admit, I'm watching the Dodger Cubs game down at Wrigley. And I'm like, oh, this would be great. I hate to see the Cubs win, but the Brewers have already won. So the Brewers will stay still 5.5 games ahead of the Cubs, but they'll also distance themselves from the Dodgers. This is great. And then I started seeing Dodgers fans cheer, and it angered me. I just got so enraged. I'm like, oh, please. I was almost rooting for the Dodgers to come back and win that game. Either way, we couldn't lose. You know what I mean? But I woke up this morning going, okay, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm good.
And the Dodgers are doing their classic early August banana in the tailpipe where they lose, 5 or 6 of 10 or something. What's wrong with the Dodgers? Nothing's wrong with the Dodgers.
Right.
Cubs look good. If all those additions pan out and just play decent, you know what I mean? If all those guys just play to the back of their baseball card, the Cubs are a legit World Series contender now. And the rest of the season, like the Brewers are going to have to find a level of ball that they haven't found in the last month and a half. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that they can play this way the rest of the year. And I know they won last night and sure you had a brilliant night, which they're going to need. I think the Brewers need to find another hot streak if they're going to hold on and beat the Cubs, who look really, really good. Like the Cubs are going to win at least 90 games. The Brewers, it'll be like last year. Like the winner of this division is probably going to have to win 95 games.
Christian Yelich looks awful. That's my statement of the day. 0 for 4 last night, had the strikeout. I will say, and Brian Anderson brought this up the other day, there have been a couple of times where Christian Yelich just hit the ball in the screws and it was right at somebody. So it's been some rough luck, but
on the ground, that's another thing.
But pounding it into the ground consistently, not even getting the ball into the air.
If you hit it hard on the ground right at an infielder, it's like, well, elevate the ball then. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I understand you can have bad batted ball luck, but sometimes I think players get a little bit of a pass. What happened to the old adage, Bill? Hit them where they ain't. We don't say that anymore. We just ask guys hit the ball hard and then, it's bad luck. What do you want to do? I don't know.
He and Garrett Mitchell were the only two in the lineup last night that did not have a hit. Everybody else at least was on base, had a hit last night. What's disconcerting is the team had 8 strikeouts and only took 2 walks last night. That was it. 2 walks. So a little bit disconcerting there. But and Garrett Mitchell's struggling right now, too. He was on fire for a while, and now he's back to struggling. So it's going maybe, with Churio going 3 for 4 last night, getting the bomb last night, So maybe, Jackson Churio starts to kind of turn things around, which then helps Mitchell and Bryce Terang batting at the top of the lineup. He was 1 for 5. It's not great, but he was 1 for 5 last night. But Contreras also was hit the ball last night. It was good to see him get a couple of knocks. So, in that sense, I tell you what, Andrew Vaughn is just a beast. He's still batting .299. 1 for 3 last night, scored a run, had an RBI, had the bomb, obviously. It just, and took a walk last night. One of the only 2 guys, him and Lara, to take walks. So those guys are at least picking it up. But Cooper Pratt, 2 for 4. He's batting .293 now, continues to rake.
Pratt's that's a guy I've started to one up there in a spot where there's runners, in scoring position or with 2 outs. Like he's turning in some quality contact and some quality at bats.
Yeah. So Logan Henderson, solid outing last night, I thought. He had he had Valdez last evening, just flailing and guessing. I mean, that first at bat for Valdez, 4 strikeouts, and just Valdez looked like he just couldn't figure it out. Whether it was Henderson just bringing in that big sweeper, or then he caught him off guard with a fastball up and in. I was sitting there marking this, and I'm watching, and I'm like, okay, you got Magnum and Lowe gets on. Okay, man, Valdez can maybe do something here, and just him and Reynolds just couldn't do anything last night. 0 for 8 and 6 strikeouts between them, and Henderson had their number last night. So good stuff for him too. So not all, a bad night in any stretch of the imagination, but nevertheless, it would have been nice to see the Cubs lose, I guess. After I sat and watched it and really thought about it, I was kind of really hoping the Cubs would take a dive. But
I enjoy watching the Dodgers lose too.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Especially on the night that they get Skubal. Although Skubal didn't really pitch that bad. He didn't pitch
the same as Logan Henderson did.
Yeah, exactly.
They got some better offense, to be fair, but
yeah. But I agree with you about the Cubs. They can score runs. They can score runs. That is not going to be. They are not going to be an easy out. Hate to say it, but they're not. So gear up, people. The Cubs are for real, and it's not going to be easy to kind of bounce them. And I don't want to say, well, you hope that you don't face them in the postseason, because I'd rather face them in the postseason and then see the Brewers bounce them, much like they did last year. But the Cubs that's a good baseball team, man, and they've made a couple of moves that we'll see. We'll see if it puts them over the top, but they can score runs. So anyway, we got a lot coming up today. We're going to talk with Rob Reischel today, which is awesome. And we're going to chat with him, and we're going to talk with him about this Packers team and about the tete-a-tete between Matt LaFleur and Bill Huber and the media and such yesterday, as he's worried about we're all worried about the kicking situation. And we'll get Rob's take on all it. The unabridged, unabated version of Rob Reischel today. I'm excited for this. And then we're going to hear from inside the locker room. We got a lot going on and so much more. Whatever it is on your mind today, we'd love to hear it. Stay with us because I'm telling you, it's today's one of those days where it's just, I kind of feel saucy today, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of the pain meds. I was a little mellow this morning, but now I'm kind of amped up. It's like I got my energy back. I don't know what it is. I'm just kind of like feeling like anything today could get us riled up. And who knows, maybe Mike Clemens calls in and say, hey, something happened here. We got this going on, whatever's going on in Green Bay. So we'll see. We'll see. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to find us, want to hit us up, please feel free to go ahead and do so. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
I'm just saying, Yelly, like, God, he basically won 2-2. If at 19 he doesn't go down at the end, he wins that. So let's not forget what he's done. And that doesn't give him the grace to not, if he's in the lineup, he's got to perform, and he will. We just can't start piling on when this guy's done a lot. He deserves the respect, and hopefully our fans understand that. That's when, again, if we're going to thread the needle, we need Yelly.
If they're going to thread the needle, they need Yelly. Welcome back to the program. I get it. You really want him to be a part of all of this. I struggle with putting somebody out there just because. I really do. I struggle with because he's being paid a lot of money. I struggle with because he's a veteran. I struggle with because he's a fan favorite. I struggle with because he's well liked by the owner. If he is not playing well, he cannot be in your lineup. If this was a young guy, you would sit him right away. If this was a young guy, you would sit him right away. You would say, look, he's not helping us. Christian Yelich, his numbers in the postseason are not good. Right now, he is not good. If you put him out there, you have to ask the question, are you putting yourself in the best position to win? Are you putting yourself in the best position to win? And I think what the hope is that Yelich makes the decision easy for Pat Murphy and company to say, yeah, he deserves to be out there because he's bouncing back. He's figuring it out. But right now, your only job is the DH. And right now you stink. I mean, you're bad. If this was Joey Ortiz, people would be screaming, you got to get rid of him. Got to move him. Then he caught fire. And you went, okay. So I think that's what they're hoping will happen with Christian Yelich. But I don't know how you look fans in the eye and say we're doing everything we can to win when you put a guy out there that is just bad right now. I don't disagree with Pat Murphy in the sense that, you know, he's got to help us. He does, because you're not going to just put him at the end of the bench and say, okay, you know, we'll use you whenever, because he does have to get at bats. He does have to try to swing through it and get out of it. But I really struggle. If he continues to perform like this, I struggle putting him on the postseason roster. I really would. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. It's really hard to take a guy like that and say, hey, you don't got it, not much you can do, but man, when you heard that, Grant, did you kind of roll your eyes like, oh, crap, they're going to force him down our throats and we're going to watch him struggle and just flail? And if they lose the series or whatever series it happens to be by a couple of runs and he's in big situations where he's striking out or pounding the ball into the ground and not doing absolutely anything, you're going to really have to question the Milwaukee Brewers and their management of Christian Yelich in this ball club.
I think it's less about the money to me, and it's more about what he represents as the voice and the leader. And I think if you bench him, you really strip him of that. And I think that hurts the team. So to me, it's not as simple as I understand why this is tough. I think it's less about money and more about what he represents and how that changes if you fully bench him or move him to the 8 spot or the 7 spot, which they're already doing. They kind of have to. I understand why it's tricky. I do kind of laugh at Pat Murphy saying, well, he doesn't need me to go to bat for him. And then he spent like a minute or two in his presser going to bat for him. So I think the organization would really just prefer Yelich to be an okay hitter here at some point and make this decision easier for them, like you said.
Right. I'm kind of like, you know, I mean, what is it, 2029, 2030? They have to eat that contract till 3 more years, I think. Yeah, it's hard to, it's a fine line because you don't want to just cast aside a guy that has meant so much to the organization and certainly has a presence in that clubhouse. You don't want to do that. But, and Brent just says, in an email, he says, you can't get rid of his leadership. Okay, my question is, it's not like he's hurt. At least not that we know of. It's not like he's hurt. Like Woodruff wants to be around the club to help younger pitchers because he's hurt. He cannot play. And if he could, he would. Yelich can play. And Yelich is your a clubhouse leader. But if you're going up there in situations and you're constantly walking back to the dugout, you can't even look guys in the eye because you're struggling so bad. It's, man, I mean, I don't know how you run him out there. Bill and Waneke, how many more years are the Brewers on the hook for Yelich on the text line? Yeah, I think it's till 2029. Out of the 608, if the Brewers finish with a 500 record from here on out, they're going to have 94 wins on the season. Which is true, but I'd still like to see him get to 100 wins, to be honest with you. I'd like to see him get to the 100 win mark. That'd be great. Be huge. Let's go to Tony in Sussex. Tony, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Good. Bill, I just got one quick question for you. if he was playing, like, besides DH and actually playing on the field periodically, I mean, you think that would help? Like, how is his averages when he was playing?
Oh, I'd have to go back and look at some comparables. I don't specifically know, but they try to take so good of care of him because of the back issues that he's had in the past. So he doesn't have to play in the field, so he can hit. And now he's not even hitting. So that's a great question. I don't know.
Cold, you know, you come cold off the bench, you know, and you know, you just come cold. You know, you might not bat for 2-3 innings. You're kind of standing there, sitting there. You know, whatever he's doing, I don't know what he's doing, but I don't know. Do you think that would have some type of effect? You know,
right?
But maybe not. I don't know. But I don't know. I seem to think he's going to break out of it. That's just me.
I hope so.
He's gone through this before, but
yeah,
he's got to. Yeah, we really need him too, and I think that's why they just keep sending him out there and keeping him in the lineup too. Besides what he means for the team, you know, and. It is what it is, but I don't know. I think that might have something to do with it, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm totally off base and wrong on that, but you never know. Well, have a great day.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it, man. That's a great question. I mean, yeah, this is from Kevin. Kevin says, hey, guys, I think Yelich is past his prime, and it's finally caught up with him. He is starting the descent, and unfortunately, he's falling off the table at the wrong time, and he's going to force this team to make a decision down the road. I don't think they're going to be forced to make it. If you're talking about whether or not they're going to just DFA him and cut him loose and eat his contract, that's not going to happen. They're going to keep him around for as long as they're paying him, unless he would retire. This is best case scenario. Best case scenario is this: that he just starts to hit. Things start to just fall into place for him. Things just start to happen where he just starts to all of a sudden get his groove back. And then as the season winds down, we go through, the end of August into September, he starts to get his groove. We got, I don't know how many days left of the season, but you know, you've got until the end of September in all of this. And you're just kind of hoping that he can kind of figure some things out. And that way, at least he makes it an easier decision to keep him in the lineup. Because Pat Murphy, as he said, we're not just going to, sit him, cast him aside. You want him to figure this out because they're not going to just DFA him. They're not going to just say, hey, you got to go. That's not going to happen. So he's going to, in essence, right now, what you have is a boat anchor taking up a roster spot. And he talks about piling on. It's not piling on. It's pointing out reality. The reality is the dude's not hitting. Since the first week of July, we're a month into this now. Since the first week of July, he's 14 for 76. He's 14 for 76 since the beginning of July. I mean, he's just not getting the job done. He's batting 184 since July 6th. That's beyond struggling. Let's go to Jamie listening to us in Reedsburg. Jamie, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Oh, good, Bill. How are you?
Good today. What are you thinking?
Well, kind of like Tony said, I was kind of curious what Yelich did when he played because it seemed like when Ortiz went back to third base, he started playing better, hitting better.
Mm-hmm.
I also know Contreras hasn't been, on base like he should be, but I know he's very needed behind the plate too. And to me, if Yelich is the leader that everyone says he is, maybe he's just like, hey, Skip, I'm not seeing it right now. I'm not getting it. I know I need to more practice, put somebody else in to help us win, Yeah. That's just being mature about the situation. And I know I'm not a professional baseball player, but I mean, played lots of softball and stuff like that. And a couple times like, hey, you're always batting leadoff. I'm like, I'm not hitting good. Move me down. Like, put somebody else up there that's going to get on base.
Right.
But the other day when I was watching Yelich hit, and I don't know if it was what he was trying to do, if he was just that late, but it seemed like he was always trying to put the ball down the left field line. And I'm like, just turn on it and pull it.
Mm-hmm.
They're pitching you inside. Just pull it. Why are you not just trying to pull it or put it this way? Why are you keep falling off down the third baseline?
Right.
And it looked like he was purposely trying to do it, not that he was that late on it,
Yeah.
So
I think at this
that's just my
point,
thought.
yeah, no, I agree with you. I think at this point, he just needs to put a bat on the ball. So, I mean, I just saw the other day where he, where they basically broke his bat in half, and he's swinging at pitches that are so far inside, it actually almost hit him. And that's why I said I look at Yelich, and at one point you can look at him and go, okay, man, he's really on the ball, and he's hitting the ball on the screws. But right now, he looks like he's guessing. Like, here comes a sweeper, he's thinking fastball. Here comes a fastball, and he's thinking, breaking stuff or a change. And he just looks like he's out of sync. He almost looks like he's like jerky at the plate at times. Like he just thinks something's coming, and it's just not. And they've got him guessing really, really bad right now. And he just looks, for lack of a better term, he looks awful at the plate. Just looks terrible.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say is, like Bo Jackson did the one time, go down and have a beer, too, then go up and go try swinging the bat. Maybe it'll help you be more relaxed.
Right. Something. I agree, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. He drops off. You get on board 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free. Let's go to Tim listening to us in Eau Claire. Tim, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
I'm doing good, Bill. Hey, I just wanted to talk about Christian Yelich here a little bit. And more maybe about, hey, we got to get more production out of our DH spot.
Mm-hmm.
You look across the league, DHs are hitting almost 300 for averages, and they're at 20-plus home runs. We're not getting that out of our DH spot.
Right.
If we have any way of going as far as what we want to go and get to a World Series, it's not coming from our DH. Nobody is afraid of our DH. We don't have a Shohei Ohtani. We don't have a Kyle Schwarber that people are afraid of. They look at Christian Yelich now, and it's like, this is just another easy out. Let's just, pitch him on the corners and make him swing, and he's going to swing over it.
Right.
He's just missing it. He's not even close to being on time with some of the stuff he's swinging at. We got to have that production. If we think we're going to win anything this year, we got to have more production out of our DH.
Right. I completely agree. He's got to provide something. I mean, even if you're not getting the power, he's got to provide something. He's got to either be on base, capable of stealing bases, driving in runs, something that's going to give you hope. He's not even taking walks. I mean, that's the horrible part about it. He's not even
really
taking
good
walks.
at taking walks.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't like him in the leadoff spot because you lead off with him, and he's almost an automatic out now.
Exactly. That's why they moved him down in the lineup.
Why do you want to start? Yeah, we can't start that way. We put Terang and Churio and those guys already looking at one out because they may not have a whole lot of faith in Christian anymore.
Yeah.
He may be great in the clubhouse and they need veteran leadership, but man, your leaders also have to hit, especially when it's a tight game and you're down by a run and he's up to bat. How much faith do you have in that he's going to drive in that run that you need?
Right.
I'm just not there anymore.
I agree with you. Appreciate the phone call. The really weird thing is that last year he had such a good year. And, you're thinking, okay, he's back, but for a while there after the surgery, I thought, well, he's never going to get above 20 home runs again. And then he did. And you kind of went, oh, okay, well, maybe he's fully back. And now you think, is this kind of like his career where it's at right now? You look at as guys get older, you see their numbers. They're really, 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 really good. And then all of a sudden they start to decline. Something happens. And then they come back. And then they have that one more year where you go, wow, they're still really good. At the age of 34, 35, 36, they're still really good. Oh, this is great. Okay, he's got some more years in him. And then, boom, it's like they just fall off the cliff. And they're I wonder if this is the fall off the cliff year. Because I'll tell you this, nobody's saying anything about a back injury, a knee injury, a shoulder issue, anything. It's not like he's, got some, mysterious ailment that none of us know about. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. This portion of the program brought to you by MIBA, M-I-B-A, MIBA Industrial Bearings. They're in Grafton, Wisconsin. Also, they're in Ohio. They're in Kansas. They're in Texas. And they continue to expand all over. And they're looking for good people. They're looking for people that are CNC machinists, all the way up to IT people. They're talking about mechanics and everything else that goes in between, HR people, personnel people, everything they need, because they're going to be expanding. They're going to be growing. They're going to double in size over the next couple of years, and they need you. So upload your resume to Indeed. Go to Indeed and look for MIBA, M-I-B-A. M is in Michael, MIBA Industrial Bearings in Grafton, Wisconsin, or call direct 262-337-2210, 262-337-2210. That is MIBA Industrial Bearings, getting stronger together.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back in, Bill Michaels Show. Hopefully you're enjoying your day. This portion of the program, last night, they had a really good night last night down at LD's Barbecue. I saw a bunch of friends on Facebook when I was out playing golf and then, kind of taking care of my ailing back. Everybody was out having fun and enjoying barbecue and music last night down at LD's on Main Street in East Troy. And that's going to go all the way through the month of August. So if you get a chance, there's still some more bike nights going on down at LD's Barbecue. Not to mention, if you just want to stop in for lunch or dinner or whatever it is, LD's always has that award-winning slow smoked meats over the 100% seasoned oak wood. So they got some really good stuff. Award-winning barbecue down there, as a matter of fact. LDSBBQ.com. That's LDSBBQ.com. Right off of the Rock Freeway, 43, going down towards Lake Geneva in that area, down in East Troy, Wisconsin. And if you see it, see that sign that says East Troy, man, it's right off the highway. It's right there, just north of the highway. All you got to do is make a stop at LD's Barbecue in East Troy, Wisconsin. Really, really, really good stuff. All right, the Packers, they got their guy outside linebacker, Baron Sorrell, and Mike Clemens caught up with him yesterday to just, kind of see where he's at. By the way, he had a pick six yesterday. Not a bad way to go in practice yesterday. But nevertheless, Baron Sorrell talking to the media. Take a listen.
What goes through your mind when you are finally in that right spot and the ball's coming to you? You see it and you see nothing but green grass going the other way.
It's a great feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely a great feeling. Anytime I get to be able to go out there and make plays, that's what I'm out there to do, and it's fun.
Is there any you don't get a lot of chances like this?
No, really. For sure, you don't get that many opportunities, so you got to make them count. But this is what we prepared for.
When's the last time you had an interception at any level?
Man, it's been a while. I have to think about that one. I ain't lying. It's been a minute.
Would it look like Josh Jacobs pulled up? Would you have outrun him for 50 yards?
Oh, for sure. I wasn't getting caught. Everybody know that. The coach was like, you were moving. I think I was moving. We'll see the tape, but no, I was not getting caught. That was the first thing I hopped in my mind because I know he's going to show it in the team meeting. I was like, I got to pick these knees up.
You worked on it from the game last year.
Yeah. Yeah, he tripped me up in that one though, so that was different. That was a different environment. So
that was just one.
You also had a good game one-on-one pass rush. How'd you feel about that?
Well, I felt good. We've been going against these guys for a minute, so just trusting my looks and knowing that, this is what I prepared for all season, is getting better at my pass rush so I could be that player that I want to be. And when the opportunity was there today, I had to take advantage of it. So I'm proud of myself, and I'm happy that the work that I put in is showing up.
Yeah, you've been with the one since the first day back in May. Are you happy with the progress that you've made since then? Yeah,
for sure. It's all about stacking days. Anybody could do it for 1, 2, 3 days, but the player that I want to be able to do this thing all season. So it definitely feels good right now, but at the end of the day, just not the end goal, and I'm just trying to keep stacking days so I can show up and play the best ball when it really matters on Sundays.
Okay. You made it a play at the end of last year, especially the way you played at the level. How much did that give you some confidence going into this offseason that you're able to kind of build up?
It gave me a lot of confidence, getting an opportunity to go out there and play football down in and down out. And I think just getting in that rhythm again gave me it gave me the opportunity to get comfortable and just, getting back to myself and playing football. So I'm very happy for that game and looking forward for what's to come.
So no one knows for sure how long Micah will be out. Do guys like you just look at that as a challenge? Like, hey, it's a great opportunity for us. Obviously, we'd love to have him, but while he's out, we can still win.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to him coming back. And, right now I'm just trying to play my role, but at the end of the day, opportunity for me, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity. This type of thing that I work on, and this is what I've been waiting on and praying for. I just want to take advantage of it.
Warren said
your room has been like reaching connected, especially like Coach DC and Theo. Have you kind of noticed that? You guys are like rushed together more now?
Yeah, for sure. That's what the theme was. I feel like coming back. Obviously, this is his second year, and he's just been building a really good. I feel like it's been showing just in the way we've been practicing every single day, stacking days, and the way we've been rushing together, playing together on rundowns. It's been really fun, and I'm just excited to see it come alive when the season comes around.
They asked, like, apparently, like, DC asked you, like, tell your why. Like, what's your why? Like, why do you do this?
Man, my why starts back when I lost my oldest brother, and at that time, football just became all this for me. It became something that my parents and everybody in my family looked to me, and I just used it as something to give them hope, give them some smiles, and as that kind of built, I really got a passion for it. I really love doing this. I know that my brother's looking down on me, and at the end of the day, I love doing it for the people around me. I love this sport. I love my teammates. I love the organization that believed in me and drafted me, gave me an opportunity. And I do this for a lot of different reasons, but it's definitely the people around me that keep me going for sure.
Aaron, are you bigger and stronger this year? And if so, are you feeling it in your game?
Yeah. That was a big thing in my off season is just how can I improve, like as a player, starting off physically, like how can I get faster, how can I get stronger, and definitely feel more comfortable and feel more explosive coming off the line. That was my biggest thing too, working on my explosiveness, and I think that's been showing up in camp.
Did you work with Micah during the offseason? And what did you pick up from him that maybe now you're applying to what you're doing?
Yeah, I learned a lot of things from him. From day to day, he's been helping me with different things, and we watched the tape together. One thing is explosiveness. He definitely helped me train that way. I say motor, just being able to go down in and down out, playing faster. Pass rush, obviously that's his specialty. He definitely helped me with that as well. He's an overall player, and I'm truly blessed as a big brother, also as a teammate. Came in and really took me under his wing and helped me out.
What did you change in your drill to kind of hone in on your explosiveness? What did you do?
Yeah, it's just the way you train, like emphasize that on everything you do, not just waiting till we go out there on the field. It's like every single lift, every single conditioning workout, everything that you do, just like training that quick switch, training that explosiveness, and then it comes alive.
You've obviously known Golden better than anyone in here. How did you see last season maybe take a toll on him? I'm sure everyone in here thought he would have a bigger role, and have you seen him maybe come into this year differently?
Yeah, I mean, when Matt did, like, we go back to Texas, and I mean, I didn't see this. He didn't see him before. Like, he came in, even at Texas, he wasn't, the top guy, but then he just kept working, kept his head down, and then you see at the end of that year, I mean, he's the guy. So I feel like he's just doing the same thing again. He's just keeping his head down. He's just keep working, and he'll be ready when his numbers go.
Back to their social starting trash talking Jordan about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I told J Love, like, their OTS, I told him I was going to pick him off. He kept laughing at me, and now I got him. So he's going to hear about this for a while.
What was the tell for you on that play to know the screen is coming?
For me, it was just the fast releases by the receiver and the alignment. If the alignment not blocking me, then obviously something that nobody's going to just give me a free run at their quarterback. So at that point, the indicator goes off in your mind, like, don't sell out to the quarterback. Exactly. Right here. Yep.
You spend a little time on the drugs machine?
Yeah, I mean, hands is natural for me, man. I've been telling everybody in the room, I got the best hands in the room. I feel like I solidified it today, so I'll wait to hit. Can't wait to see what the guys got to say about that.
Do you have any pass catcher in your background when you were younger?
Yeah, I played a little bit of receiver at tight end back in high school. You know, it was a while ago, but I did it. So
what you're saying is with the injuries to the tight end room, you might be available.
Yeah, for sure. I think Coach Matt sees it now, so maybe I might get that call later tonight, but we'll see.
Does Golden have anything to be worried about? Competition receiver with you?
I told Christian, I think it's more of Christian type of thing. Like the way he took that drag and, the crosser out and get up the field, I think I showed that today. So I think Christian got to watch out.
The 1v1, you want to rep with power, roll, and you want with speed. Was there either of those that were particularly more painful to you to being able to put the roof on the field?
Yeah, I mean, one thing sets up another, and as a rusher, you really want to sequence your rush. I mean, it's not like you go out there on Sunday and just get one rush. So you got to be able to set up your rushers. I knew that, if I go on my first rep power, I know they're expecting that. So I obviously know that the speed and the edge is going to be there as well. So I'm happy I'll be able to show both things today.
There you go, Baron Sorrell talking to the media after his day in which he nabs a pick six, and he said, nobody's going to catch me. Nobody. You would love to see Baron Sorrell and Warren Brinson both take that step forward. That would be huge. That would be huge if they were able to do that. It really would be. Darren Sorrell specifically because obviously with Edrin Cooper and Zaire Franklin roaming the middle, you got Lucas Van Ness on the other side. You'd love to see Barron Sorrell, Brenton Cox Jr., those guys, Denai Dennis Sutton, those guys get into a rotation where they're able to sustain with outside edge rushers until Micah Parsons comes back. The best case scenario is they're playing really good football, and then Micah returns. It's like getting that free agent. It's like getting a trade in the middle of the season. So they're playing well. The defense is already better than what it was last year and beyond, and then Micah Parsons comes back. That would be best case scenario because you're really hoping that Barron Sorrell is able to do that, the fourth-round draft choice from last year. And then obviously, you look at the inside with Warren Brinson at that right defensive end position. You'd like to see him excel as well. And then obviously the young guy, Denai Dennis Sutton. So, a lot to kind of grab onto there. All right, let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to come back. We've got a lot more to get to. We're going to talk about the kicking stuff. We got Rob Reischel is going to be joining us coming up here in about 45 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at All Nations Solar Electric. And I know up in that area, to be honest with you, up in the Fox Valley area, the Northeast Wisconsin area, specifically the Menashe area, there's been a lot going on, obviously, from the tornadoes that have come through there. But if you've got something in your home or you're looking for a rebuild or if you're looking for a renovation, whatever it may be, I'm sure they're busy, but you got to give them a call. Call the master electrician, Greg, at 920-661-7577. 920-661-7577. Again, 920-661-7577. Something in your house isn't working, switch isn't working, lights are flickering, you can't figure out why. You just maybe a little bit nervous. Maybe you've got a switch or a plug that just doesn't hold the outlet anymore, or the outlet doesn't hold the plug anymore. Call them, 920-661-7577. Or if you want to go solar, you want to get the tax credits, you want to go kind of off grid, save yourself a little energy over the long haul, allnationsolarelectric.com. That's allnationsolarelectric.com, or call Greg directly, 920-661-7577, 920-661-7577.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
The new home of the Green and Gold postgame show. It is Home Field Pub and Social in Green Bay in Titletown. So after the game, the home game for the Packers. Come on over. We're going to be there. Green and Gold postgame show going to be at Home Field Pub and Social with great food, a bunch of beers on tap, televisions everywhere. You got the swing suites, the simulators, games. It's just a great gathering spot, not to mention really, really good food. In Titletown again, Home Field Pub and Social. That is the new official home of the Green and Gold postgame show, and we are excited to be there this upcoming season. Really looking forward to it. So right across the street from Lambeau Field, a little bit closer. Loved Burkles. Don't get me wrong, but we thought Burkles was going to sell, and then all of a sudden we moved, and next thing you know, Burkles isn't selling. So if you're up there in the Green Bay area, still go over and say hi to Kevin, who is still back at Burkles and making a go of it. But we're going to be at Home Field Pub and Social for the Green and Gold postgame show after the fact. All right, coming up in the next hour, we're going to pick it back up, talk a little bit about Trey Smack. We got more Brewers stuff to get to, obviously, but we're going to talk with Rob Reischel here in about 35 minutes. Stay tuned for that as well. We're going to pick his brain about what's going on up in Green Bay and the back and forth, the tete-a-tete with Matt LaFleur. I'll get in. I got more thoughts. I'll get into this coming up in the next hour. So I don't want to spew too much right now, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers got back into the win column last night as Jackson Cherio and Andrew Vaughn would each homer, and Logan Henderson, starting pitcher, allowed 2 runs in 6 innings as the Crew would beat the Pittsburgh Pirates at American Family Field 4-2. Logan Henderson, who won his 6th start in a row, talked of his performance.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this last 2 interviews that I want to get as deep into the game as possible, and it was really good to finish 6th today. So, yeah, I mean, being efficient is the name of the game, and you have to be if you're going to get that deep in the game. And I don't want to just stop the 6th. I want to keep going.
It'll be Brewers and Pirates again tonight. First pitch coming at 6:40. Turning to the Packers, yesterday was their 6th day in training camp. Micah Parsons, who's progressing from his torn ACL, told reporters it's very realistic he could return Week 6 against the Dallas Cowboys. And Packers rookie kicker Trey Smack is 8 of 13 for field goals in training camp. Here's more from Matt LaFleur.
For any young player, any player in general, there's going to be some trying times, and you have to show the resiliency, and that's one of the keys to being successful.
The Packers now have off today, a close practice on Thursday, then family night at Lambeau Friday.
For nearly 40 years, ABC Wisconsin Apprenticeship has been helping men and women transform themselves into highly skilled trade professionals. These skills are in demand and provide strong wages and benefits for a bright future. If you're a hands-on person who likes the feeling when you get projects done, apprenticeship could be for you. Go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
Well, Wisconsin football and Luke Fickell will have a local media day today. Then tomorrow begins their fall camp as they begin their campaign for the 2026 season, starting off September 6th against Notre Dame at Lambeau Field. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Evo.
Welcome in. The Michael Show on a Wednesday. Made it halfway through the week. Tomorrow and Friday, we are going to be live at the Wisconsin State Fair. State Fair kicks off tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I really am. We're going to be at the Goose Island Ale House inside the Budweiser Pavilion. So if you're going to the State Fair tomorrow or Friday, please come by and say hi. Please come by and say hi. We're really, really excited to be there again this year. This makes 27 years broadcasting at the fair. 27 years broadcasting at the State Fair. Been all over. For many years, I was in the TMJ booth and then down the street a little bit when we had the RV out front. And since about the last 7 years, something like that, it's been the Goose Island Ale House. It's great. So great being there and great, obviously under shelter and everything, but it's great being back there in the back of that place and having so many people, especially if there is inclement weather, which is not supposed to be over the next couple of days specifically. But when you get a chance to go out there, if there is inclement weather, everybody comes in and hangs out with us. So it's a lot of fun. So we're really looking forward to the Wisconsin State Fair. Kicking things off tomorrow. And we're going to talk about tomorrow. I'm excited because we get to try beer ice cream in a cone. I kid you not, beer ice cream in a cone. So the Sporky Awards are out today. The Drinky Awards are out today. But beer ice cream in a cone. So we're going to try that tomorrow on the air. So looking forward to that. You want to track us down? 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free to go ahead and do so. You can text us 608-321-1670. That's the text line. You can find us on YouTube. Watch us there. Subscribe absolutely free. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can find us on Twitter, on X, @Bill_Michaels. You can find Grant @Wisco Grant. We're on the app, the Wisco Sports Zone, Wisco Sports Zone. Email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website, simply thebillmichaels.com. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Instagram has not moved today at all. So if you have not followed us yet on Instagram, please feel free to go ahead and follow us on Instagram. Right there is the, there it is. There it is. Right there's the meter. And the meter has not moved today. So if you have never followed us on Instagram, please do and make the meter move for us. We're at 5,118. We'd like to continue to climb followers there. But you can also track us down on TikTok. We're on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well, all under The Bill Michaels Show. And our television show is 8 o'clock Central Time. That's on My 24 TV in Milwaukee. That's My 24 TV in Milwaukee. I want to address yesterday, and somebody just followed us. Thank you very much. If you heard the meter move, I want to address yesterday when Mike Clemens came on the air and was talking about the tete-a-tete, the back and forth between Matt LaFleur and the media in regards to the kicking game. And more than a few people followed us. Thank you so much for following us. And more people are doing it. Awesome. 4 more people. That's awesome. Pierce and Ryan and Callie and Coyote and Jared and Chad Johnson. And Bo, Declutter, everybody. Thank you for following us. Thank you so much. It did not strike people in the best possible way, put it that way, when it comes to the discussion of the kicking game and Matt LaFleur. Grant, how was it on your show? Did you talk about that at all yesterday?
What's that? Sorry, I was cutting audio.
No. Did you talk about, back and forth between Matt LaFleur, Bill Huber, and the other media? I don't know.
Yep.
It seemed to really anger people. And I've said this before. you gotta read the room. It's not just. I mean, I know Matt LaFleur, talks to the media every day, okay, and I get that. But right now, I don't know if I want to call it a hypersensitivity for fans, but I think it is. I think fans are looking for, give us the assurance. Specifically the outspoken fans. Maybe the majority of fans, and I don't know. I don't know if I'd have to take a poll on it or what. I don't know what kind of a unbiased poll we could possibly put out there. But I really believe that there was a lot of fans that thought at the end of the season, some thought, you know what? You got a new coach. The longest tenured coach right now in the division is Matt LaFleur. Dan Campbell's had some success. Ben Johnson certainly in his first year had success. Kevin O'Connell's had success. But the longevity, the continuity, there's a reason for that. And there is a legitimacy to not blowing out coaches every few years if it doesn't work out, because you do want continuity and you do want players to understand that they don't have that choice in picking coaches and they can just get guys blown out if they don't like this guy. So there is that. But I think after last season, specifically the way the season ended, fans are pretty sensitive right now. They want reasons for optimism, and they want reasons to believe bringing back Matt LaFleur as the head coach was the right move. And in yesterday's back and forth, and Bill Huber had a very legitimate question. Why do you not want us to know? Because remember, he kind of laughed and said, that's by design. Now, I think he was somewhat joking, okay? But some people took serious. But I think he was somewhat joking, just kind of saying, yeah, that's by design. We don't want you to see anything. But people that don't know Matt or don't see his face and hearing that, they don't know he's kind of joking. And people were pissed. I mean, I got emails last night that was talking about the arrogance of Matt LaFleur and the stupidity of Ed policy and how Goody can allow this to happen, on and on and on. And I don't know if Matt's reading the room right now. When you've got fans that are up there cheering for every catch and cheering for every tackle and cheering for every move, and just because Packers football is back, it seems like there's this euphoric state of green and gold that it's just like nothing can be wrong. We're fine. Don't worry about it. But there's a reality to this of people looking past it and going, I better not see kickers missing and you losing games and then making excuses for this guy or for this kicker or whatever, because we heard the excuses last year. We're not going through wash, rinse, repeat. Damn it, it's got to get better. And if it's not getting better, don't blow smoke up our ass. And that it was yesterday was the creation of what I consider to be like an incendiary device. Okay, here you go. You lit the fuse, and now people are waiting for more, to jump on you. And it's like, why give him that? Why not just say, yeah, he's missed a few kicks. We're working with him on operation. We're working with him on this. We believe everything's going to be okay. It would have been simple instead of getting into that little bit of a contextual situation where you're kind of going back and forth and you're just, and Paul says, well, people need to relax. But you can't tell Packers fans right now to relax. You can't. I'm trying to become that stabilizing factor, that believer that, hey, it's okay. But I'll say this, if you ignore the red flags and then the same things happen, it makes it worse. Because that's when all the people that wanted you gone to begin with will scream the loudest, because they'll say, we saw it, you got combative with us about it, we knew it was coming, and you did nothing, and we knew this was going to happen, and there you go. Now, they're the ones that are waiting to jump on you. What you're hoping for is that just the opposite happens and everything is really good and they start off with wins and look really good in doing so and such. But I just thought yesterday really kind of came off. After I had a chance to go back and listen to it last night when I got back home, it came off as kind of petty. Didn't it? Or was it just me?
No, I think you're barking up the right tree. I also excuse Matt LaFleur a little bit in this and that. Outside circumstances be damned and frustrations of the fans be damned. He's there doing his job, protecting his player and getting through a press conference without giving him any red meat. Also, it's not Matt LaFleur's fault he has another rookie kicker.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is the second time in 3 years now that Brian Gutekunst has handed Matt LaFleur rookie kicker. And we'll talk about that with Reischel coming up. I'm interested to get his takes because Reichel's not a Matt LaFleur guy.
No.
But I think even Rob Reischel is like, well, Jesus, LaFleur hasn't exactly been given the easiest circumstances. I think the bigger shortcoming for the Packers relating to their fans is head policy. I don't think he came out at the owners' meeting. And I agree with Tom Silverstein. He didn't stand by his decision. He didn't, pump up his coach. I think that, to me, I look more at Goody and especially head policy than I do at LaFleur, who's mostly just there to coach the football team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It just, and again, I think Thomas is right. It's the people that want to see Matt LaFleur fired are the ones that, they're the ones that are jumping all over this to begin with. And I agree. I don't know if they're a minority. I don't know if they're half of a fan base. I don't know if they're a quarter or a third or if they're majority. I don't know. But they're very loud. That I will say. They're very, very loud for the people that are in that anti-LaFleur camp. And they're the ones that make their voices heard quite often. I think a lot of us are, even though, I'm very much on the record saying that at the end of the season, I would have made a change. But also been on the record saying I'm going to give this year an absolute opportunity. I'm going to be in Matt LaFleur's corner. I'm going to wait and see how things go. It's not that I'm sitting there waiting to jump on things. I'm waiting to praise. I'm hoping to praise and say, man, after last year, wrapped your arms back around the organization, started everything back up. You got good leadership there now. All these guys took a step forward and things look to be on the right track. I'm all for that. But with every little piece that you give people to jump on you, it's just like, don't do it. But I agree with you, protect the kicker. But like I said, you could have just said, yeah, he's missed a couple of kicks, but we're good. Everything's good. He's really progressing. They're getting down the process. The one thing I will say when he talked about the hold, well, we don't have the long snapper and we don't have Orzik and we don't, each kicker likes it held different. My whole thought was in that explanation, and I get it. What he's stating is 1,000,000% true. Every kicker likes it held a different way. But that's day one, man. That's day one. How do you like it? Okay, like that? Okay, this is what we're going to do every time. That's day one. That's day one in minicamp, in your OTAs. That's not training camp. That's OTAs. This is how you like it. This is what we're going to do. Okay. So it didn't come off very well, I guess.
I'm with you on that, by the way. Like some of these little things with special teams especially, like these are things that you work out over the summer. We don't need all 53 guys here in pads to start to get our arms around this stuff. And Cam McCord, the Packers special teams coordinator, we're going to hear his presser later on in the show. He got down. I don't know if you've seen the pictures maybe on Twitter. He got down on the floor and was like, kind of showing visually like this is the angle of the ball to McManus. Like this is what it's like. This could have been done, rookie camp, OTAs. This could have been done, just between Orzik and the kicker and the long snapper privately over the course of the summer.
Right. I agree. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. We're going to have more when we come back. Stay tuned. And don't forget Rob Reischel coming up here at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to talk with him about all of this as well and get his thoughts on this portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Road America. They had a big weekend. IMSA was just in town, and man, did they have a good time. It was just such a party up there this past weekend. Really, really good stuff. IMSA was all over it. Good stuff with IMSA this past weekend. And in addition to that, they've got the GT World Challenge, which is upcoming, Art on Wheels, the Vintage Weekend, and then SCCA, the National Championships. They got some other good stuff happening as well. That's going to be taking place up there at Road America. For all the tickets, the information, the on-site camping, everything, go to roadamerica.com. That is roadamerica.com. Road America is your national.
Bill,
Parker Speed, yes.
Before we go to break, I loved the Road America read. Can we get Mike for 3 minutes here? He can jump on and just give us an update on what's going on in Green Bay.
Let's do it. Let's not even go to break. We'll go right to Mike Clemens. Michael, what's going on, man?
Well, we just got a chance to talk to all the coordinators today, and Cam McCord is your new special teams coordinator. And he actually asked us today, could you guys introduce yourselves? Because I don't know anybody. And so we all kind of, introduced ourselves, and the energy on this guy is just off the charts. and he's a very down-to-earth, basic guy. And I kind of wondered, boy, if you're a 5th or 6th year NFL veteran, if at first this guy comes off to you like, dude, this isn't Pee-wee. I know this stuff. But he's going to tell you what the basics are and what the fundamentals are. So even to the point where, I heard you here because I just left the building, I'm in the car, and we got some other stuff going on this afternoon, some meetings. When you talk about Trey Smack now lining up and going 3 for 5 in perfect conditions like we talked about, yesterday, we said, what is he adjusting to his holder, Daniel Wheeler? We know that Orzik, the main long snapper, is out. Is the operation affecting him? He says, all right, let me show you something. He pulls a pen out and moves over to the podium on this new stage, carpeted stage, and takes a knee and takes the place of the holder. And he puts the pen down on the carpet and holds that like a football and says, most of the time in the NFL, you hold it straight up. But if you've got a wind going from left to right, you tilt the ball this way. If you got the wind going the opposite way, you tilt the ball that way. And so, in other words, the kicker is doing the same thing every time, and you make the course correction through the tilt of the football. Now, I happen to know that Ryan Longwell has been in contact with Trey Smack, your new rookie kicker, and that Longwell says, the key about Lambeau Field is that when you've got that driving wind going and the way it swirls around, he kind of went back to his golf game, where if you're trying to golf, on a par 5, you need a long drive to start, and you don't want to put that thing in the air, so you have to, move the ball back a little bit and try and drive it out low to the ground. And maybe you won't get the normal distance you get on a normal day, but at least you'll keep it in the fairway. He said the same thing was true about, kicking a Lambeau. You obviously have to kick it just high enough, but you want to try and kick one and that's all accomplished by what the holder is doing. So, Keyshawn had a great description. We asked him, what do you think of the new special teams guy? He says, he's wiry. I like him, but he's wiry. And that's a great description for this new special teams coordinator.
Interesting. Now, Mike, I'm going to go back to yesterday, and Bill Huber and Matt LaFleur kind of going back and forth regarding the kicking situation, and we were just talking about it, how it just doesn't seem. It wasn't a great look. I mean, you get to sit in there and understand that Matt's joking at times, and he's kind of playing with the media, and you get to see him smile, where some people don't get a chance to hear that. To me, it was like, hey, I get it. You're trying to protect your guy, but kind of read the room, that there's a lot of people that have a hypersensitivity to the way the special teams played or didn't play last year, that you have to understand this is obviously an area of importance for questioning. So, I guess my question to you is, do you think Matt could have handled that better?
Bill, you and Grant will chuckle at this, because if when the three of us are out to dinner and you guys are looking at the menu and you're talking about the order, and I'm saying, oh, look at that painting over there.
Right, exactly.
My mind's always kind of going that way. So Sunday morning we're out here, and after they did some field goal kicking, and after the first couple of kicks, you see the head coach running down to these two high school referees. They've got 5 refs out there every day, and you see them go over there and tell them stop signaling, good or wide left, wide right. So these guys put their hands in their pockets for the rest of the period, and they kicked 5 or 6 more field goals, in which I think he had 4 or 6 or something like that. Yes, then was it the day before yesterday? Then they did another one of those periods in perfect weather conditions, and now I notice the refs are on the sideline. So as I'm walking out of practice with all the things we just saw in a 2-hour practice, I happened to mention to Bill Huber from SI, who covers the Packers. I said, "Did you notice the refs were on the sidelines?" He goes, "I thought it was just me." What? He says, "I'm going to ask him about that." So we went after LaFleur, why? And he said, "Listen, it's kind of hard from the sidelines. We'd like to report to the fans how this guy is doing in camp, and you can't really judge those kicks from the sidelines." Aaron Rodgers used to sometimes give us, he would look at us and go, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Right.
He would be standing in the middle of the field to call it for us. And LaFleur, as you heard in the presser, got a little defensive, look, it's practice, okay? It's just, let the guy practice. He's a rookie kicker. Let's, bring him along. And then as you heard in the Trace Mack interview, I mean, the kid's raising some questions. Well, today I asked Cam McCord, the special teams coordinator, I said, have you had a chance to talk to Mason Crosby or Ryan Longwell yet about, the things that are going to happen at Lambeau Field in December? He says, he's talked to Ryan Longwell at a kicking clinic, as a matter of fact, so he's got that connection. And then he says, I haven't had a chance to look at the histories of the weather on game days. I mean, how detailed is that?
Right.
He's going to look up and he's going to track kicks and which way they want and do that kind of charting, as they get into September, October, how the field changes. So that's what your new coordinator's onto. And not to say that Bisaccia wasn't at that level as well, but this guy is at least vocalizing those things. But yeah, it's a rookie kicker, and he's still finding himself. And I'm trying to remember Longwell came already established, and Mason Crosby was just solid from the start. As I remember it as well. He had one little dip there 7-8 years into his career, and then McCarthy, let him hang in there, and he came back and ended up kicking the kicks that you needed to win and finish games. We got to talk to Jonathan Gannon today, the defensive coordinator. And Bill, there's a couple of these guys, both the receivers and some of the guys in defensive back say, yeah, I like this new 3-safety look. And, I'm talking to Xavier McKinney. I asked McKinney, I said, when it was announced that Jonathan Gannon was going to be your new defensive coordinator, this former head coach of the Cardinals, guy with the Eagles, some time with the Colts, I said, did you call around? Oh, yeah. Yeah. He says, you know what? Buda Baker and I have the same agent. I called Buda, and he told me all about Gannon out there. And so people are talking about this 3-safety look. And to me, I just think, well, okay, so that just means you got Javon Bullard out there with Evan Williams and X. And so you'll hear the questions I had with Gannon about that situation. And, the bottom line was he said, safety is your last line of defense, right? And yeah, I put a lot of emphasis on that position and what it's going to be. And if you've got the personnel, they're going to use it. So some pretty good, interesting conversations. The other one was Adam Stanovich. What do you think of Marshawn Lloyd? He goes, big smile. Good. But he said, I can't go any further than that because, it's been 2 years. So he's holding his breath. And Marshawn Lloyd will get a lot of snaps in the preseason, because that's when they'll really know if he's back, if he's there, and if he could be RB2 behind Josh Jacobs in the backfield this year.
Mike, great stuff as always. Anything else before we cut you loose?
No, just keeping busy with that, man. And, and getting ready for family night on Friday nights. And the crowds have been huge here.
Yeah.
Huge here. Lots of fans and people taking the tours. Yeah.
Good stuff. Mike, appreciate it as always, pal.
Thanks, Bill.
There you go. Mike Clemens joining us for a couple of minutes before we go to break. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Don't forget, bottom of the hour, Rob Reischel is going to be joining us as well. This portion of the program brought to you by Levine Iceburner. If you're looking for an attorney out there, somebody that answers the phone, builds a relationship with you, whether it's a personal injury, estate planning, civil litigation, contracts, whatever it is, call them. 608-621-2888. 608-621-2888. Levine Iceburner. You cannot go wrong. Also, Brent Iceburner, a veteran, brings that same attention to detail to your case and go into the courtroom if you need it for you as well. Levine Iceburner, 608-621-2888.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Truck drivers, get more of what you're looking for from Schneider. Schneider delivers more for drivers with more new equipment, more driving options to choose from, and more support from our 24/7 maintenance team. Find a job that fits your lifestyle at Schneider. Choose from solo or team driving jobs with many home time choices, including local, regional, tanker, and dedicated options. Become a Schneider driver and get more from your career. Search driving jobs today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back, Bill Michaels Show. Appreciate you joining us on this Wednesday edition. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends out there at Smoke on the Water. Smoke on the Water got a lot going on, my friends. They really do. And the biggest thing is tonight, I believe it's tonight if I'm not mistaken, they have got the fire-breathing dragons back, by the way, which is awesome. The fire-breathing dragon is back. So they got a bourbon club and an event, and it's all taking place today. They got the bites from the fire-breathing dragon, and it's all going on today. They still have, by the way, they still have some room for this if you want to join them. They've got 3 featured cocktails coming up tonight: the Blackberry Sage Smash, the Golden Hour Amaretto Sour, and the Paper Crane. And they're going to pair each cocktail and all the bourbons made with other bites from that fire-breathing dragon.
Kissed by Flame and our new fire-breathing dragon.
Oh, yes. Oh, give me one. Need a cigarette after that. But it's all going to take place at Smoke on the Water tonight. So if you are out and about and you're thinking about doing something over there at the Bourbon Bar tonight, they have got the fire-breathing dragon. They've got bites. Then they're going to pair it up with different bourbons and different drinks. So all of that upcoming tonight out there at Smoke on the Water, BBQ Okachi. And for all the information, just find them online. Find them on Instagram. Find them on Facebook. Smoke on the Water, BBQ Okachi. Smoke on the Water, BBQ Okachi. It is a Facebook and Instagram event. social media events. So Smoke on the Water BBQ Okachi, and you can be a part of the Fire Breathing Dragon and all the bourbon and everything that's going on out there. So really, really good stuff. Check them out. Again, Smoke on the Water BBQ Okachi. All right, we went really long in that first segment, so let's do this. We'll break. We'll come back. Coming back, we're going to talk with Rob Reischel, and from Forbes.com, covering the Green Bay Packers. Going to pick his brain, get his thoughts, all that kind of good stuff. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Chuck, what happens if someone applied before and was denied?
Craig, I love this question, and the answer is simple. If you were denied in the past and still looking for a loan, before you go somewhere else and pay way too much, give us another shot. Everyone's situation changes. You may have a cosigner, a new job, a raise, who knows, but we're going to try to help.
I'm telling you, it seems like my credit score goes up and down each month.
Great point. We don't use a traditional credit score at the DLC, and you don't need great credit or collateral. We can also help you consolidate those expensive payday and title loans because we lend way more and charge way less.
Dollar Loan Center loves Madison and lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by our locations in Janesville, Beloit, and Beaver Dam.
Licensed and regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
With Trey, what do you think the way he bounced back with those two-minute kicks yesterday?
Yeah, I think that's what it's got to be. I think whether you're for any young player or any player in general, there's going to be some trying times, and you have to show the resiliency, and that's one of the keys to being successful.
Welcome back. Nervous days, nervous nights. Kicking game is not where it needs to be. Obviously, you got some guys that are going to be coming back from injury. You're going to get some of your force multipliers back. But Matt LaFleur has some protection, we'll say, of his young kicker, trying to figure out what is going on. I think if I read correctly, he's 8 of 13 right now in camp when it comes to actually making official kicks, so to speak. And that's an area of, I guess, contentiousness between some of the questions being asked via the media and Matt LaFleur at this point. Bring him in from Forbes.com, Conley Media, covers the Green Bay Packers, our buddy, Rob Reischel. Rob, how you doing, pal?
I am terrific. How are you, Billy?
I'm good. I want to start off with the look, and that is Matt LaFleur, Bill Huber's asking the questions about, hey, the kicker's not necessarily where he needs to be. He goes through this whole dissertation about the hold and the process, and I understand all of that, but that's usually day one type of stuff. But should there be a nervousness among Packers fans right now about where the kicking game is?
100% yes, Bill. I mean, again, we're only a week into practice, right? And this kid may iron out all his difficulties and problems and things like that. But Bill, they haven't had it right since they let Mason Crosby walk out the door after 22, right? 2023 was a mess with Anders Carlson. Mm-hmm. He had more misses than anybody in football. They start 2024 with Braden Narvison. It was okay. Actually, he wasn't, Bill. He was 12 of 17 now that I think about it. Sorry, I'm driving.
That's okay.
And didn't have it in front of me. 12 of 17, and then they found McManus. He kind of saved their bacon in 24. They thought they had their long-term guy. They gave him the 3-year contract. And then he was injured last year. He left 7 points on the board in that Bears game. When he was injured, they went with Lucas Havrasek. He missed a couple extra points. Bill, my biggest thing right now, again, the only way to me to get better in life is to have some level of competition staring you in the face on a day-to-day basis. You have it with competing radio stations. I have it with competing writers. Your sales team has it with competing sales teams, et cetera, et cetera. 13 days after they drafted Trey Smack, they cut McManus. Right before camp or right at the start there, they cut Havrasek. They're just rolling with this guy. Bill, the only way to me to toughen a guy up is to have a level of competition and build. There's a weak-minded level and approach right now to me in that organization. For Matt LaFleur to remove officials from practice because he's trying to guard and baby his kicker and not have anybody know on the sidelines or in the stands whether that kick was good or not. Bill, I think that's a really soft approach with a guy like Trey Smack right now. If you want to toughen him up, Bill, I've done this 25 years. I think this is year 26. I mean, that's I'm getting old, but I've never seen that happen, where you don't have officials out there saying, is a kick good or not? And,
right.
And that's a Matt LaFleur thing right now, trying to baby and protect his kicker. I mean, Bill, we all go to Trey Smack after practice anyways and ask, was this kick good or was that kick good? It's not like we're not going to write it, and it's not going to wind up that readers and your listeners know this kind of stuff. Matt LaFleur to me has bigger problems to worry about than if the media knows if a kick is good or not. He's got to find a way to beat Ben Johnson. He's got to find a way to beat Dan Campbell. He's got to find a way to beat Kevin O'Connell. Not worried about if we're standing on the sidelines knowing if a ball goes through the uprights or not. So again, Bill, I think to me in any great organization and company or whatever line of work you're in, you need strong-minded people from the top on down, and I just don't think they have that with Matt LaFleur.
Do you feel like getting rid of Harvasek, getting rid of Krieg? I mean, obviously, you put the whole spotlight on Trey Smack by himself, but maybe they bring a kicker back when they finally get Matt Orzik back. But, at some point, don't you have to look and say, we got to bring in one other guy, at least to have a semblance of competition, right?
Maybe not, right, Phil? I mean, at the same point in time, you remember they had that big competition a couple summers ago with Joseph and Carlson, and then it wound up being they cut them both, and they started the Narvison because they scouted up here where everybody's going through a couple of camp legs and things like that, and you can get a read, maybe a little bit better read across the league between their practices, which are open, and then the preseason games themselves where you can watch some of these guys kick to get a better idea of who you might want your guy to be. Bill, I would personally, if this goes on another 2 weeks where he's still kicking at kicking at a 61% clip, which is where he's at right now through a couple of practices. Yes, I bring in some competition. But, Bill, it kind of tells me they want to baby this guy as much as possible, that since the draft itself, like you said, they moved on from those two guys right before camp. And don't forget, they cut Brandon McManus 13 days after the draft. I thought that was going to be the competition through the course of the summer. Yes, Brandon McManus 24-30 last year, which is 80%, Bill, on field goals. The year before that, he was 20 of 21 on field goals. That's 95%. I mean, his 2 seasons in Green Bay, aside from that playoff loss to Chicago, were really good for the most part. I know he was dinged up last year and he missed some time and he was getting a little long in the tooth, and that was problematic. But Bill, personally, I'd have him in camp right now going head-to-head with the young guy and then kind of see who winds up standing.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest. Brandon McManus is a far more accomplished kicker than Haversack or Craig were if those were your other potential camp options. So, yeah, Bill, I would think at some point in time they'll bring in a camp leg. If they don't, though, it's not the end of the world because you do have some time right now to watch a lot of what's going on in some of these other cities.
How do you feel about, and you and I are in agreement, I when it comes to culture, when it comes to Matt LaFleur, because that's where it's got to start. And watching this team collapse in the second half of games last year, we all thought there has to be a culture change. You have to be able to finish, and it starts with each drill that you run in camp and in practice and such. How have you been impressed with the way things have been run thus far, or has it been more of just same old in your eyes?
Yeah, same old, Bill. I mean, think of this, right? They'll tell us every day, okay, practice is going to end at such and such a time. Matt's got his practices scripted out pretty much to the minute. Most of his practices have ended on an average, Bill, of 5 to 10 minutes early. Keyshawn Nixon said last week he appreciates the fact Matt LaFleur has gone soft on them through the course of this summer. Then we kind of get the full story yesterday of how he's handling things with the kicker right now. And he's more worried about the media seeing if a kick is good or not than maybe if he's spending too much time worrying about things like that, Bill, rather than just getting the stupid kicker fixed in the first place, right? I mean, this to me has been a Matt LaFleur issue for a long time. It's soft over there, right? Think back, right, Bill? Jair Alexander runs out for a coin toss when he's not a captain in Carolina, has no business doing that. I mean, Mike Holmgren would have made him walk home. Lombardi might have just cut his butt, right?
Right.
And he wound up getting a 1-game suspension, Bill, but that's only because Brian Gutekunst got involved in that. Matt wasn't going to suspend him. That was a Brian Gutekunst suspension. You think back to Romeo Dobbs going AWOL on the team 2 years ago, and then he comes back a couple days later to practice, and Matt runs over and gives him a hug. I mean, can you imagine even a Mike Sherman or a Mike McCarthy hugging one of these guys who went AWOL on the football team? Bill, I'm not a big fan of the head coach. I think he's got some real positives. I think he's better off being a coordinator than a head guy. I don't think they're a tough enough football team. I think culture plays a big part in that. And Bill, I think it's a big reason why they collapsed late in games last year, twice to Chicago. They blew the Cleveland game. They had a 2-score lead against Dallas. They had a 9-point lead against Denver.
Yeah.
They let all those get away. Those 5 games, Bill, they were 0-4-1 in combined. It's a culture thing across the board. Again, Bill, to me, in any walk of life, you need strong-minded leaders from the top on down. And I think that's a real problem right now with these people in Green Bay.
I mean, on one hand, I look and I say, I agree with you. On the other hand, I see some of these guys that are tearing up ACLs and knees and all that stuff already, and they're losing players for the season. And I also get that. You don't want to lose somebody. But I really believe that there has to be some installation of we will not be denied. And I don't know how you go about doing that or if he has to change something within himself to do it, but it's got to trickle down. And then your leader has got to be your quarterback. You got defensive leaders, obviously, but your leader's got to be your quarterback. So do you see that extension of leadership out of Jordan Love? Oh, did we lose Rob?
I'll see if we get him back.
Maybe we did. Rob, very, very frank, to be honest with you. I mean, very honest about, hey, I don't see it. I don't see it. And
Rob's back.
Okay, we got Rob back. Rob, do you see the extension of leadership? Is it more of a grasp on leadership for Jordan Love this year, or is it also same old?
No, I think Jordan will be a little more vocal. And I'll just say this, Bill, and here's some encouraging stuff because we've spent the first 10 minutes, banging on these guys a little bit. Jordan's been unbelievable to start practice, and the first week of practice, he's probably in the middle of his best summer ever, and that should be encouraging. I think he's the longest tenured guy on the roster.
Yes,
one time, Bill. So it's just natural. He's certainly going to be more. Bill, I thought he was more vocal last year, for example, than he was in 24, and I would say he's continued on that. He's never going to be to the level that a Favre and a Rodgers were, for example. That's just not his personality to get in people's faces, either good or bad. To run around with his helmet like a Brett did, to scream guys out like an Aaron did, whatever. I mean, Jordan, that's just not Jordan's personality. He's certainly a little more laid back and California cool, if you would, or whatever. But Bill, I do think he's maybe more connected and certainly maybe taking on more of a leadership role with some of these guys. But Bill, probably their leaders are going to be guys, at least vocal ones, at least when they're back, are going to be guys like Parsons and Kraft and maybe Bullard, people like that, McKinney. That's maybe more up their alley. I think back like Molitor and Yount, for example, right? Robin Yount was a really quiet leader in his time in Green Bay, in Milwaukee, but he was a darn good leader. Molitor was a little more vocal, for example. It's just, it plays into personality to me as much as anything. I will tell you, though, the one thing about Jordan, Bill, he's got a couple picks in the last couple of days, and really, who cares at practice? But the way he's looked with his top 3 wide receivers, Matthew Golden's been everywhere. Christian Watson's causing a lot of trouble. Jaden Reed's been really good. I think they've got the more defined roles for these guys right now, and they certainly seem in sync throughout practice at least. I mean, they're tearing it up, and they've got chemistry right now with Love that when they get the tight end back in Kraft, they don't have great depth in any of those positions, Bill. I don't think they can handle a lot of injuries there, for example. But their top four, when they're throwing to Golden, Kraft, Watson, and Reed, boy, Bill, there's not a lot of secondaries that are going to be able to match that.
That was going to be my next question, actually. So let's specifically talk about Matthew Golden, because coming in last year, saw him in camp, looked really good, was not as much or didn't have much of the offense dedicated towards him. This year he will, but how do you think he's responded from last year to this year, and how has he looked overall?
I was talking with a couple of guys yesterday, Bill, and we were saying, how does a team like this go from 9-8-1 to 12 wins? Because there's a bunch of people that are picking them, including me, to maybe not be in the playoffs. The number one thing to me, Bill, would be Matthew Golden. He's been unbelievable. I mean, he's got 5 plays a day where you're just like, Jesus. And they're head-turning plays where, I mean, everybody remembers the touchdown, for example, in Chicago in the playoffs last year, and you're thinking to yourself, boy, why weren't LaFleur and Steno playing this guy 55, 60 snaps a game and giving all to Wicks or whatever, and Cole Melton or whatever it turned out to be. So he's making plays almost, every single day on a level like you saw last year in that postseason game against the Bears. He's kind of settled in at that X, that receiver spot, but they can bounce him around. He can play in various spots, and I think he will, although Reed might be their most dynamic guy out of the slot, where Golden's going to line up maybe more outside. There's not a lot of guys that can put a body on him at the line of scrimmage and keep up. His feet are terrific. I mean, I think back, you remember Devontae Adams had a really good first year. He struggled in that second year, and then he absolutely blew up. I kind of get the feeling Golden's going to blow up this year. It does take some time for these guys at a young age, maybe to totally get it and for him to blow up. You're right. Golden was outstanding last summer, and if you would have asked me at this time last year, I would have thought he was on his way to 60 or 70 catches. He's been even better this summer, though, Bill. His knowledge of the route tree, his chemistry with Love are really, really high level right now. Watson's been unbelievable high level. Bill, I think they can both have 70-plus catches. And Jane Reed was telling me last week he wants to have 75 catches.
Wow.
Bill, it wouldn't shock me between the three guys if they exceed 3,000 yards. That's how good that trio has been to start the season, Bill.
Rob, I wish I had more time. We don't, but great stuff as always, and we'll touch base again real soon, okay?
All right, Bill. We'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, buddy. There you go. That is Rob Reischel joining us for a couple of minutes on the hotline. We're going to take a quick break. There's at least some encouraging things to discuss. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
We got 2 hours down, 2 more yet to go. We're going to hear more from inside the Packers locker room. We're going to talk more about the Brewers. Got a lot yet to get to. Don't go anywhere. By the way, thanks to everybody that has started to follow us over there on Instagram, too. That thing, the meter has been going crazy today. So thanks to Tim. Thanks to Matt. Thanks to Russ and Ashwaubenon, Jay Zimmer 3, the real Kim Pratt, Troy, everybody. So thanks to everybody for following us over on Instagram and making the meter move. We certainly appreciate it. Getting about 10 more followers in the last hour. So it's always good stuff. 2 hours down, 2 hours yet to go. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Zone Update.
Well, it's an off day at Packers training camp. They're going to get back out there tomorrow before Friday's annual family night inside Lambeau Field. Tight end Tucker Kraft will likely practice, though he won't be going into any full-speed team drills just yet. That could come later this month. They're in joint practice with the Cardinals. All of it comes roughly 10 months after he tore his ACL. Meanwhile, Micah Parsons could just start running soon. Said it wouldn't be unrealistic to play in October, but he also cautioned fans when trying to compare his recovery to Kraft's.
I'm not even going to put a set return date because obviously me and Tuck had two different injuries. Him having an isolated ACL versus me battling between meniscus and ACL. When Tuck was walking at 4 weeks, I'm still in crutches. So it's a completely different. I did 7 weeks of crutches. Tuck is, so you could just add those 2 weeks right there. It's a whole different rehab program.
Again, the Packers off from practice today. They'll get back out there tomorrow. Turning to Wisconsin, they're going to get fall camp going tomorrow in Madison. Team announced today that they will hold an open practice for fans later this month. It'll take place August 18th at 7 o'clock. Wisconsin did not hold a public spring game in April, so this will be the first chance for fans to see this year's squad.
Whether you're new to the trucking industry or looking for a change from your current driving job, Schneider has an opportunity for you. Need a CDL? Take advantage of our company-paid training and tuition reimbursement programs. Ready to advance your driving career? Check out Schneider's wide variety of driving job options that fit both your current needs and your goals for the future. Start or grow your trucking career at Schneider. See what we have to offer at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Well, the Brewers and Pirates facing off again tonight in Milwaukee after they split the first 2 games of the series. Kyle Harrison will make his return to the mound as he pitches for the first time since early July due to an elbow injury. Paul Skeens goes for the Pirates. First pitch is at 6:30. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome in to hour number 3. Thank you so much. Wednesday's edition, Bill Michaels Show. Glad you are with us. Phone number 877-867-1670. You can text us on the text line. I'll get it to text messages this hour, 608-321-1670. Always appreciate you following us over on YouTube, on Twitter at Bill_Michaels. You can find Grant at Wisco Grant, our app, which is Wisco Sports Zone, a great way to take us anywhere and everywhere. You can email the program, as many of you had. I'll get to the emails as well. thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website, simply thebillmichaels.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. And for many of you, or at least 11 or 12 of you that have just followed us in Instagram in the last hour, thank you so much. Went through some of the names a little earlier, but for making the meter move behind us, and it has been continuously moving throughout the last hour. The Bill Michaels Show. That's what you look up. If you haven't followed us on any of the platforms, please do. I post a lot of videos and stuff, and we're going to be doing some stuff from State Fair tomorrow. We're going to be doing some stuff on the road out in Sturgis, South Dakota, for the motorcycle rides and such next week. And then we're going to be doing some stuff at Packers training camp coming up after that. So you follow us over there, and hopefully we keep you entertained under The Bill Michaels Show, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well. You can catch the television show on that continues to flip. That's nice. You can catch the television show on My 24 TV. That's My 24 TV in Milwaukee, and that's on 8 o'clock Central Time on Saturday night. And there you go. That's the meter. And when you follow us, the meter moves up, so to speak, the Instagram meter. So there you go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Uh-oh, moving as we speak. There you go, 5131. Whoever just did that, thank you very much. Ben C. and Rundle and Troy and everybody. So thank you very much. I want to go back to the discussion that we had with Rob Reischel, and I think it is pertinent because we've talked about a lot of the negative. The positive has been, and even though, Rob did kind of allude to, there's been a couple of picks out of Jordan Love recently, but he has had a tremendous camp. He has had a camp. Christian Watson has had a camp. Obviously Matthew Golden has had a really good camp. They're really anticipating the return of Tucker Kraft. They're excited about that. Jaden Reed's been good. Now, we got to wait and see. I mean, Marshawn Lloyd has even looked good. Hang on. Got to knock on wood there because you don't know when he's going to go down. You're praying he doesn't. But Marshawn Lloyd has looked good. Josh Jacobs has looked good. I mean, there's been a lot of rave reviews right now when it comes to the offensive side of the football. We still have not seen the offensive line in full domination and only one padded practice. That'll obviously be something that comes once we get a chance to witness, preseason against Pittsburgh. But it's the offense has looked really good. So I on one hand you can say that's been really good. On the other hand, you can say, well, the defensive time has not necessarily been good, and that could be the downside of things. But for all intents and purposes, there's been some positives out of the offensive side of the football. And that's been pretty encouraging. The one thing, and I forgot to ask Mike about this, Mike Clemens, who joined us earlier, and we'll get to talk to Mike later this week. As a matter of fact, Mike's going to join us for his usual Friday segment this week. It starts this week where he's going to go, the last hour of the show is basically the Mike Clemens hour, and we get the full report from up in Green Bay. But I have not talked to Mike about the depth. There's always a guy or two, Mike says, hey, keep your eye on this guy, keep your eye, because, there was a lot of people really excited when Michael Sturdivant was picked up as a college free agent. Like, this guy could possibly make this team. He could be that good. There were some people that really were high on him. I haven't talked to Mike about some of the guys that are the depth guys that could possibly make this team. So we'll get into that a little bit more on Friday. But the returns so far have been good. Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, Jane Reed, even Sky Moore when it comes to some of the return stuff and the elusivity of Sky Moore, who they basically brought him in to be a returner, has looked pretty good. So for all the stuff that we get so caught up in when you look at it in such an incredible microscope of the negative, you also have to look at the positives. And there have been positives. There have been some good things to talk about and think about and discuss. So yeah, it's it's not all good kicker. We do pay attention to it, but it's not all about the kicker. I think there is some positive things to think about and talk about. So 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, do it. 877-867-1670.
It sounds good to me that Rob Reischel has given a stamp of approval to, their plan at wide receiver, because their whole plan at wide receiver was, we love the guys we have.
Right.
And we think they can handle more volume. And if we let Dobbs go and trade Wicks, we think Reed, Watson, Golden, and Kraft, who's a tight end, we think that works.
Right.
And we think they're all ready for more volume, and we think that can be a high level. So at least getting a stamp of approval from Rob Reischel, who's, he just doesn't hand out praise, with all respect to Peter. He's a little different than Peter Bukowski. Peter's always trying to find a way to make this and that work. And I love Pete. That makes me feel a little bit better, because their plan at wide receiver was to not beef it up or to add anyone, but to get rid of a couple of guys.
Right.
And that kind of has to work.
Right.
Like Reed, Watson, and Golden have to be ready for that workload. Otherwise, this offense isn't going to be good enough.
Yeah, exactly. And as Rob alluded to, they're healthy. That's the big thing, is they're healthy right now. So, you're excited that, nobody's gone down, and again, I know it's stupid, but when you sit there and you start looking throughout the NFL, and again today, there was somebody else that, somebody from the Jalen Walker with the edge rusher with the Falcons. He went down with a knee injury, tore his ACL. When
you're just trying to avoid one of those.
Right. When you see this stuff going on, you're like, oh my God, on one hand, you're like, come on, they need to hit more. They need to be more physical. They need to be, a harder ass. But on the other hand, you're like, man, it's just, you really got to be careful. You just don't want to see these guys going down with these injuries. So it's just, it really is a catch-22, because God forbid, they're doing these hard ass. Think about it this way. They do these drills, and then, Matt LaFleur's getting on them and this and that, and somebody goes down with an injury. Then people are going to say, what? Well, Matt LaFleur's too hard on him now. And they'll rip Matt LaFleur for that. He really is kind of in almost a defenseless position at this point. No matter what he does, it's just whatever he does has to equate to wins and has to equate to finishes. That's it. I can take it if they just get physically beat, if they just get beat up, but I just don't want to see them lose because of they can't close out games. They just can't figure that out. That's the only thing I'm asking. Other than that, I can live with whatever, anything that they do. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Mike says, hey guys, what about the offensive line? We know that the wideouts can be good when given time through Jordan Love's ability to make some time and to make throws. But he says, what about the offensive line, specifically Jordan Morgan? Is he holding up? After one pad of practice, I don't think we really know.
I saw Ryan Wood tweeting about how his athleticism, his profile, and his skill set. You can already see why it makes more sense at that position. It's a more natural fit. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it at a high level, but I've seen Packers reporters point out, even in limited action, like, that you can see why he's a more natural player at this position than at guard.
Right. I know that. Oh, and this is from Max. Max says, hey, Bill, have you kicked in the door yet and allowed X-Tech pads to get into the Packers organization? Are they finally presenting to the players? And that way we won't see more shoulder injuries coming up this season. I've preached about X-Tech for a long time, so I'm hoping that they're in the door. I do see certain players walking when they come out and their jerseys are up and their pads are on. I do see some X-Tech pads hanging out, but I don't know if they're like officially presenting in there. I couldn't honestly tell you. I haven't checked, but I should. I haven't checked yet. Danny says, hey guys, great show as always. Love to listen to Rob Reischel. Rob seems to be not just a pessimist, but at times a realist, and I appreciate that more than anything. When you listen to some of your interviews, people actually look at the Green Bay Packers without their green and gold glasses on. While I don't think the kicking game is that great, I do think the offense is progressing and looking pretty good. I hope the defense is going to be better than what's expected. If the defense can just play well until Micah Parsons comes back, then it's going to get even better. I like the analogy of getting a free agent in the middle of the season. Your thoughts? That's from Danny. Well, that's what I've been saying. I mean, it's not my thoughts. I mean, it's what I've been saying for a while now. If you can get this defense, say top 10, top 7, by the time you get Micah Parsons back, that would be pretty significant. I do like what Micah Parsons, and we're going to hear from Micah Parsons, by the way, but I do like what he's had to say about his return, that he won't be the same player. You either get worse or you get better, and he's working to be better. So I appreciate that. Were you taken aback when he said he's kind of targeting, and we all knew he would be targeting or thinking about the Dallas game in week 6, but did it take you aback a little bit, Grant, to say that's kind of what he's discussing? Because the Packers, if you look at the timing of the injury, that would be about the 9-month mark. And I can't imagine that he's going to go straight from no contact to bam, all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's going to be playing against the Dallas Cowboys.
I would just bet later rather than earlier. I don't know what his target date is. I'm sure they have a date in mind. I think they're going to be later rather than earlier because that knee injury was not as clean and easy as some other ACLs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't as bad of an injury as the one Mahomes had or the one that Tucker Kraft had.
Right. I don't know. I get that he wants to be back for that. I understand it, but there's no way in hell that I'm rushing him back. I'm not doing it. Here's the other thing where the pressure is going to be, this is why the defense has to be good. Because if the defense isn't, there's going to be this undue pressure put upon him that he'll probably self-impose to come back and help this defense. Maybe come back a week or 2 or 3 sooner than he really should. If the defense is playing well, he's going to want to come back, but it's like, hey, they're doing well. I don't have to worry about rushing myself back. They're doing well without me. They got this. And that way he's not feeling as if, well, I got to get back or this team's going to fall even further back. And that's why another reason why I hope this defense plays extremely well. I'm really hoping for it.
I liked what Mike Clemens had to say about their 3 safety looks with Jonathan Gannon. I believe a lot in Gannon. We're going to hear from him tomorrow, but I'm going to do a segment on my show tonight. Like, I just think Gannon's a pro in the way that Hafley was. And I think Hafley's a good football coach. I don't know if he was the best defensive coordinator. Why wouldn't you get 3 safeties on the field? Javon Bullard, Evan Williams, and Xavier McKinney are 3 of their best defenders. Right. So why not create a defense that's getting all of them on the field at the same time? I don't understand. That's an easy thing. And I just think Gannon's going to do a lot more things where it's like, oh, duh. Of course. Why would you not do that? Because I think he's a pro in a way that Hafley wasn't. Yeah. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please feel free to go ahead and do so again, 877-867-1670. Let's break. We'll come back. We got more of this discussion coming up bottom of the hour. Going to hear from the special teams coordinator. How about that? Let's do that when we come back bottom of the hour. We're also going to hear from Micah Parsons coming up a little bit later on today as well. So don't go anywhere. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Burn Pit Barbecue. BurnPitBBQ.com. Look for them in the Wisconsin products portion of the Wisconsin Expo Center at the Wisconsin State Fair. That's where they're going to be. I just saw Ben and Greg were setting up today out at the Wisconsin Expo Center, and they're going to be there for the run of the fair. If you walk in and you go into the Expo Center, just look for them. Tell them you heard it here. Tell them you said hi. Ben and Greg. That's who you ask for. Go to burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com. You can also follow them on Facebook and Instagram as well, and TikTok. They do TikTok videos too. I know that. But whether it's the rubs, the sauces, the hot sauces, they got something for everybody. The coolest part about it is at the fair, they're going to give you a taste test. You can just pick out what you like and kind of go with it from there. burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
I don't want to be Casino Hotel Milwaukee is setting the stage to rock your socks off. This August, jam out with Real Rock Off. You could win raging prizes to the tune of $300,000. Get in on the jam session by playing with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries. Thursday nights will be a game show battleground for your share of cash and reward play. Real Rock Off. It's going to be epic. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Why is it so important for Madison customers to deal with a licensed, regulated, direct lender?
A lot of lenders may look legit, but they are not, especially online. Borrowers need to be careful to deal with lenders who are licensed and regulated by the state of Wisconsin, who really lend their own money and aren't just lead generators.
And Dollar Loan Center is a direct lender?
Yeah, we've been around 28 years, Wisconsin licensed, and I actually lend my own money. We are extremely transparent, fair, and always guarantee to beat the rate of our competition. And our customers' Bill of Rights is in writing at don'tbebroke.com, and we never charge to apply.
Dollar Loan Center loves Madison and lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by in Janesville, Beloit, and Beaver Dam to meet our real friendly staff. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed and regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
With a rookie kicker.
No kicker has missed more kicks than Anders Carlson this year when you include the 6 extra points. And when we talked to the head coach, Matt LaFleur, about this, he basically said when he goes out there, I just pray. Please respond.
Let us pray.
I know that there's going to be some good, and I know there's going to be some that he's going to want to have back.
Let us pray.
For any young player, any player in general, there's going to be some trying times, and you have to show the resiliency, and that's one of the keys to being successful.
Let us pray.
The whole operation is going through. We don't even have, Matt Orzech's not even out there, so that throws a wrinkle in it as well.
Let us pray.
I think he's got plenty of pressure, just on a day-to-day. I mean, that's why we're talking about this for so long, right?
Let us pray.
The real tests will come in those preseason games, and then obviously into the regular season.
Let us pray.
I'm confident that he will work his way through it.
All the angels and saints, pray for us. Amen. Oh, Jesus, this guy might suck. Shh.
Maybe that's what it comes down to. On Sunday, we all hit the church and do a couple of novenas before you got a kicker taking the field. Oh, my goodness.
I forgot about that Tom Rinaldi moment with Anders Carlson.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur was pissed about that he aired that on TV.
Right? I just pray. Just pray. That's it. That's pray. This portion of our program brought to you by our buddy Dwayne at Dwayne's Cover It All. DUANES, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. Whether it's a boat cover, awning, gym equipment. You know what? I was just thinking that because every time I go to Sturgis, especially right now, they haven't had any rain out there, and they've got fire bans and all that stuff. You can't do anything out there right now because it's been so hot and dry. And you start getting all the dust that's kicked up, and I keep thinking, man, I should have him make a cover for my motorcycle. So that way I got something to throw over the motorcycle at night so I don't come out and it's just caked in dust and dirt again. Plus, on the days that it does sprinkle or rain, then you got the dust and dirt that turns to mud, and it's all over the guy. Anyway, but he can do all of that. Whatever it happens to be, boat covers, awnings, gym equipment, office furniture, and so much more. That's our buddy at Dwayne's, DUANES, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. That is Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. He can do anything and everything, even the sails over top of patios that people like to put out there. As a matter of fact, I talked to my friends, Melissa and Chris up in Lake Fire Winery, and they've got sails over their patio that are old, and they want to get those replaced. And they said, yeah, send us his name and information. We'd like to just give him the size and get him cut. So he can do that too. 715-870-2119, 715-870-2119. Again, 715-870-2119. That is Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. That's Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. Everybody just say a prayer. Is that what it's going to come down to, do you think, before it's all said and done? It just got to say a prayer every time the kicking game is called upon. Here's the question. I mean, I know field goals haven't been good. We have not talked about anything when it comes to special teams in the kicking game and coverage and where he's putting the football and then the return game. We're just talking nothing but special teams when it comes to the kicking game.
Well, we're going to hear from the special teams coordinator coming up in the next segment. He talked about all of that. He did say something in his presser that I bookmarked, and we'll hear this, where he's basically like, it's not about makes and misses right now. I just want to make sure that the kickers make sure he's striking the ball the way we want.
Right.
And I guess that's fine. It's just like, you guys drafted the guy who is the best kicker in college. You shouldn't be splitting at him there. He's kicked a ball before. Like, what are you doing? Like, are you reinventing the kicking game?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you clearly thought he was a good kicker. And I don't know. I'm sure every coach has a way that they, but you're talking about him like you're teaching him how to kick for the first time, and that shouldn't be the case, right?
Exactly.
That's just me.
Completely agree. Completely agree.
Say a prayer.
Yeah. That's just it. I'm just throwing out the prayer. See what happens. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. Okay. I got all kinds of text messages. Let's see here. Mississippi Drew says, football, by the way, still a combat sport. Also seems to me that why you train and tackle hard, look at how pro fighters train. They're constantly sparring and they're continually taking body shots to train themselves to take those body shots. You can't replicate that otherwise. Good point. Hey, Bill, I'm not sure if this was Mike was trying to say, but he was just saying that Smack was intentionally trying different positions of how the ball was held so he could see how it changes the trajectory. That's Brad in Sturgeon Bay. I did get that a little bit, but there is still, this is the way you like the ball held. And put it this way, if you're bringing in a kicker and you're then reteaching him how to kick, he wasn't ready for the NFL to begin with. That's just my take on it. You either have it or you don't, They didn't bring in Janikowski and all of a sudden just say, hey, learn how to kick again. Janikowski was a guy that had this big leg. He could kick, and they came in, said, here's your holder, here's your snapper, go. And he was good. Same with Adam Vinatieri. Same thing. They just said, this is the way it is. Here you go. And he was a great kicker. You're either good or you're not. And the 80%ers don't usually last in the NFL. Out of the 920 on the text line, the honeymoon is over for Matt LaFleur. He is now tied for fourth longest tenured coach with their current team. All of those coaches have at least made it to a Super Bowl. If the same issues keep happening and they aren't corrected this season, there is no way policy can bring him back. It has to become a prove-it year for Matt LaFleur. If things don't improve this season, they never will with him as the head coach. Mark in La Crosse says, Rob Reischel, another excellent guest on this show. 715, Bill, don't you think that he is being too sensitive in the press conferences? LaFleur's view of the reporters that they're below him. This is a dangerous line to cross. The Packers media is first class. He needs to act like a leader and quit acting like those questions are out of bounds. Thanks, Rick. That's our buddy Rick. Greg says, every time Matt LaFleur has an opportunity to show us all more reassurance and more leadership, he does nothing and shows me more doubt. Grain Man Mike, I understand Matt LaFleur maybe didn't handle the question properly, but whose decision was it to cut McManus and draft Smack? That's goodies. And again, I'm not even worried about McManus because the injury McManus had, I don't know. As far as I can tell, is McManus on a roster anywhere right now, Grant, by any chance? Do you know?
Say that one more time, sorry.
Is McManus on a roster anywhere?
That's a good question. Let me check that. I hadn't looked into that.
I don't know if he's on a roster.
Doesn't look like it.
I don't think so. The problem with McManus is and was he had, obviously he struggled in the postseason this past year, but don't forget he had that thigh injury. And from what I understand, what he did or what he strained or what he tore is very difficult to come back from. And I wonder if his full health is there. If they looked at that and said, look, you're as steady as a rock kicker for the most part. And he was struggling with injuries last year, but I wonder if that injury just didn't heal right. And that's the reason they ended up cutting him loose. I'm not worried about McManus, but they cut Krieg, they cut Harvasek, basically to take any competition away from Trey Smack. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'd be doing that. I don't mind putting him under pressure. And I know Matt LaFleur said, well, he is under pressure. Well, yeah, but I bring other people into camp. Not that I'm splitting time with them. It's just get looks. The more looks, you got to get this right. You got to get the feelings be damned. You got to get this right. This is like, well, we can't bring in another quarterback. We can't draft it. Otherwise it's going to hurt the quarterback's feel. My ass. This is the National Football League. If somebody's better than you, they're going to beat you out. You lose your job. Sorry about your luck. Go sit down. You want to put the best 11 on the field at any point in time that's going to give you the best chance to win games. Otherwise, don't come to the podium and say, well, we're going to put the best out there. My ass. If you're just putting out there because of feelings and you don't want somebody to have their feelings hurt or their butt hurt because they've got competition, well, go beat the competition. Otherwise, shut up. That's my opinion. I don't understand why they went ahead and cut other kickers. I get it because of roster moves. Okay, whatever. You got to bring in another snapper and whatever. But this whole thing about, we want to make sure that he feels comfortable. No, you don't. No, you don't. If he can't deal with competition and he can't deal with pressure, then why are you putting him in the National Football League to begin with? That doesn't make sense to me. All right, let's do this. Speaking of special teams, Coach Accord, the special teams coordinator, we're going to hear from him when we come back. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. This portion of it brought to you by our friends at Marquardt RV. The RV is just about ready to go. Been out there cleaning it up and getting it ready from our last trip to get ready to take off on Saturday night late. Early Sunday morning to head out to for the 900-mile drive out to Sturgis, South Dakota. And it's great. It's great to live in. It's great to be a part of. It's great to work with such a wonderful company that takes their customer service so incredibly serious. They make sure that you get the most out of the vehicle you have and what your money pays for. That's what they do. Anybody can sell you anything, but that's what they do for you. 8 locations throughout the great state of Wisconsin, a couple of them over in Minnesota as well. To find one and to find that great service near you, go to Marquardt, MARKQUART, MarquardtRV.com. That is MarquardtRV.com. Special teams coordinator Accord next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Sometimes I get a good feeling.
Tomorrow, we're going to be at the Budweiser Pavilion at the Wisconsin State Fair Park. The 2026 Wisconsin State Fair gets underway. Don't forget, we're going to be there tomorrow and on Friday. Come by and say hi to Goose Island House. Really looking forward to it, and we're going to find out what it tastes like to have beer ice cream tomorrow. So we're excited about that as well. Let's do this. The special teams coordinator for the Green Bay Packers spoke a little while ago, and Cam McCord. Let's take a listen to what he has to say.
Everybody got questions?
Yeah, so how do you get...
All right, sorry. Can y'all at least say your name, please? So, because I don't know anybody in here, and I at least like to put names with faces and get to know you guys a little bit, you know, ladies and everything. So just first name, last name, whatever you would like me to... When I see you, or something to address you as. So
yeah,
that would help.
Right over the Packers for SI. So what do you think of Trace starting? How do you get the bumps and the ups and downs kind of smoothed out to what's more ups and downs?
Yeah, I think anytime you have any young guy, whatever position it is, there's going to be some ups and some downs. I think it's the consistency when you come in and you look at the film, you talk to the guys, what are you working on technique-wise? What can you improve on? Is there some things that you're like, man, that was, you just missed that when you hit the ball clean in his specific situation? Or was it like, hey, that was a good hit, you know, that was a bad hit? There's a difference when you look at the kickers. There's a good miss and there's a bad miss, you know, and it all depends on the contact they make when you really slow it down. Sometimes you can't see that when you're watching it live. You'll see it practice. I move around different spots during the field goal period. It's just looking at different things because there's different aspects when you're viewing it, whether you're in front of the kicker, behind the kicker, to the side of the kicker, you're able to see different things. That's why we have all the camera views, because you're looking at multiple things, right? So you just got to have him be a consistent person every day he's here and just continue to improve on it, because everything, there's something to probably tweak or look at every day. And you just want to see him get better. And it's not so much the makes and misses right now. It's more so about the ball contact is what I'm looking at.
Hey, Cam, Brian Wood with the Green Bay Press Gazette. I don't think anyone's probably surprised that there's been some bumps for a rookie that's never really kicked in this one before. He's got to work through that, right? When should that even out? Like, how long is the learning curve on that?
Well, I think that's unique for Green Bay and the practice fields, to be honest with you. And the stadiums. I don't know if, even in my time in New England, we dealt with a lot of wind at practice, and even in MetLife. First off, you're dealing with the wind dynamics, and it's been really great for me and him and all the specialists, is when we go to practice, the wind is there. But when we go into Lambeau and do walkthroughs and stuff, honestly, I look at the wind there and I look at it at night, and then we go in there and it's like, wow, you don't feel anything, you know? So I don't put as much stock on the practice stuff as I will in the stadium stuff. You know, even kicking in there and those elements, because it's totally different. You know, a headwind 12 miles an hour outside with gusts of 25 really feels like a light breeze almost inside, you know, whereas at practice, you're out there and you're looking at the flags and it's moving and you're like, whoo, it's a tough day. So it's good to have those. So I think a lot of times at practice, the results may not be what we want them to be or not as good as they could be or whatever it may be. Putting guys in tough situations, kicking into it, and then going inside and seeing that's not as windy as it's going to be. So I think at practice, I think it's really good that we do have the wind we have. whether it's the northeast, southeast, and it's going different directions. And then we have the indoor, right? So it's coming off and it's actually different, and that's what goes through learning the ball, learning how what wind's playing every day. So I would say I'm going to put more stock into game days and stuff like that. And then when we kick in stadiums, I think that's where it's just going to be. And then the growth of it is he contacting the ball better? It's not so much is he hitting the ball and we're 9 for 9, whatever, or we were 3 for 4. I've been around kickers that went 9 for 9 and had a terrible day. When you look at the film that day, you're like, I really didn't hit the ball good. They went 3 for 4 or whatever, 3 for 5. And it's like, well, at least you struck the ball well, and we knew we were missing. So it's a lot of when you watch the film where it was. But obviously in the stadiums working together, you hope obviously you're making more kicks there. But I think there's more value in that than what we're doing on the practice field.
Rob Domofsky from ESPN. Matt said yesterday that Trey likes the ball held a little differently than Brandon did, maybe, and Daniel's obviously got adjusted to that. How does he like it held?
So here we go.
Oh, this is going to be awesome.
So each kicker is different, right? Everybody see, right? This is my football, all right. But each kicker is different, and I'll put a lot of strike ball, but playing wind and elements and stuff like that. And again, a lot of guys like the ball straight up and down. If I with me on this, okay? All right. However, when you're playing in wind, and it also depends on whether the wind's in your face, right to left, left to right, right? So if you want to drive the ball through the wind, you have to lean it forward a little bit, okay? So most guys that kick in weather have a forward wind lean. Now, after that, it depends on whether it's left or right, whether I'm going to slightly lean it into me or it's just a forward lean with no lean into the holder. So when Daniel's out there and we're talking and we're doing the wind, it's like, hey, we're just going ball down, a little forward here. Or the next day, maybe, hey, ball down, but also slightly into you a little bit. So each kicker is different, but what you work on more when you play an element stuff is a little bit more forward lean. And then it may be straight and then maybe into it, okay? What that allows, and some kickers actually have into them small, into them big, okay? 2 different into leads. That's where Daniel working with him, it's here and it's into and small, medium, whatever it may be. Because what happens with the kicker is it allows them by adjusting football to not actually change their swing. You're moving the football and the lean, so when the guy goes to actually pick the ball and make contact, he's making the same contact and he's letting the lean of the football do the work for him. So that's a lot of the stuff we're working on in practice. And that's what's really good about our practice field is because the wind is going to be so different every day. Does that make sense? So now it's a lean into, out to, and now we're working together. And the more reps we can get out there in that wing, it's going to really help us. Was that?
I couldn't have screwed better wrestling.
Okay. All right. All right. No problem.
Cam, Matt Schneidman with The Athletic. I haven't been here as long as some of these other guys, but I've never seen a coach wear cleats at practice. And I asked this seriously, have you been doing that for a long time, and what benefits do you get ahead of that?
I started doing that when I didn't do it in junior college or when Southern Miss. I started doing that in 2018 when I got to New England because I got tired of getting thrown on the ground doing gun releases with Matt Slater. Because I would wear a bag, like Justin Bethel broke my nose, because I'd wear a bag and an arm shield and you're shuffling to cut the guy off, and I'm 165 pounds, they're NFL athletes, so they're and I tell them, quit pulling me like you're going to pull a coach. I was like, pull me like you're going to pull the freaking vice, yank. So they started yanking and broke my nose, fell down. So after that, I started wearing cleats just for better grip, and running purposes. And I know myself, if something happens, I'm just going to react. I don't, think about it, to be honest with you. So falling down enough made me want to. That's why I wear the cleats. It's not for any other reason or anything like that. It's just trying to not hit the ground as much as I used to.
Cam, Mike Clemens from Wisconsin Radio Network. Have you had a chance to talk to former kickers like Ryan Longmill and Mason Crosby about what to expect when they in Lambeau Field?
I haven't personally talked to Mason or anything like that. I've actually talked to Ryan. Before I actually got hired and everything, I was with Ryan down at a kicking showcase down in Florida. So we've spoken. I spoke to Ryan a little bit here and there just to get an idea. I know obviously the addition to the stadium, stuff like that. But just to talk to him about, because the wind and the weather does change at some point, like when does it change and all that type of stuff. So we've talked, just because it gives me an idea. And I'll do a lot of historical studies and stuff like that the closer we get to games, about how is as many games as I can find, the temperatures are the same, the wind's the same direction. I'll watch those games as well to see what the ball's doing. That's a lot of the stuff I do kind of on like a Friday or Thursday nights, really Thursday night mostly. That way on Friday I can talk to the kickers and the specialists and the returners about how are we going to play the game. You know, what do I expect the ball to do? Where do I expect them to have to go with the ball? Whatever home or away for everybody to play. Obviously, dome games, you don't have to worry about it, but we don't have too many of those. So, but yeah, I spoke to Ryan a little bit. You know, he's a good resource. Really good. Talk good.
Packers.com. With Sky, how much did you know about him, before he came here, before you got here? Just what you thought, just kind of his makeup with playing both for those two Richmond positions?
Yeah, so obviously I evaluated coming out of college. He didn't do it much in college, so it was kind of a projection. And then obviously went to Kansas City. You kind of knew when the draft season that high is kind of potentially what they were going to do with him. When you watch him, because we played, when we played Kansas City, we all played him. We went to San Fran, facing last year too. So the thing you do in the league for a special teams guy is when you evaluate draft guys, right? And they go other places, whether they get released or cut, you have a list of guys. You're like, all right, he's productive. Because if you have an injury, you got to have a list out there. And that's kind of what Dewey does too. But for me, it's like, especially some returners are really like, I always keep them on a short list of guys. Like if something was to happen, we have to do something. So he's the guy that I followed. Any guy in general that returns in the league, I'm gonna know about him. That's part of my job. That kickers and returners, whether they have 3 or 4 attempts, or it's like, hey, like for he did his rookie year, so when he came to New York, I'm like, hey, they're gonna catch punts. Like just because you have to know what a guy can do, what they did in college, just see what they are. Just run some coaches. We'll go here and then here. Good. Cool.
Nice offer from Packers. Did you have some, input or influence in Sky Moore being signed here? Just have your own personal notes?
I would say they give us a list of guys. We watch them, we rank them, and then kind of at that point, we kind of do the thing. I always, as a personal thing, try to watch as many guys as I can. And anybody that I see as a free agent, and just kind of, hey, this is kind of how I see it, and I let them guys do their thing. I coach on Sundays and I practice and everything. I let them have that stuff.
Again, Paul Bredel, Wisconsin State Journal. I appreciate the demonstration of everything Daniel and Trey are working through. What's the added wrinkle when Cal comes in during training camp to the field goal operation from the long snapper change?
It's an added wrinkle for sure. It's no different than the consistency of an offensive line, wherever it's working together. Because now, you're working with Cal and he's got to figure out where Dan catches the ball, because each holder they're against different where they catch the ball. So they're catching it at 7.5, or they catching it a little bit further back. So now you're not catching perfect laces potentially. And there's nothing wrong with Cal, Dan, on it, but it's just working through that and getting the ball, because each coach is different. Some coaches want the ball snapped to the center of the chest of the holder. Some people want it right over the spot, So there's a little bit of adjustment. Anytime you change a specialist out, it's going to be a little bit of adjustment working with one another. But he's done a good job adjusting, again, even Daniel, whether a punter stands right behind the guy, he has a tilt offset, whatever you want to call it, to one side or the other. There's some adjustment that has to be done, but they've done a good job, and I think they're going to continue to get better. The more you do it together, the better you're going to get.
Cam, you're right around that from the Fan Sports Radio here in Green Bay. So you talked about your evaluation of Sky and kind of keeping tabs on him. How much of the evaluation, how do you evaluate returners in training camp when you're not really now that you have your hands on them, but you're not really going through live returns? How much of the overall evaluation is based on what he's put on tape in the NFL already returning kids versus preseason games versus maybe what you see in training camp?
Number one, catch the ball and hold on to the ball. And then when they're running with the ball and making cuts, you can tell if a guy, and it's not around defense, but when a guy's running, if he cuts the ball coming away from his body, because especially in the kicking game, everybody's not going to be 1 or 2 guys, it's going to be 8 or 9 guys right around you. So working on how he cuts,
making sure we bring the ball outside, making sure we're covered up. I'm putting my hand 12 here, on the elbow, right? We build a cage, so the ball be out here, can't punch it out, right? I have to protect my chest. So there's a lot. Number one for me is ball security. Ball security is job security for the returners. Like if you're going to put the ball on the ground or can't catch it, I can't trust you. The ball isn't seen. We can't do that. So that's the number one thing for me. Then the running ability and stuff like that, we'll work that at practice. There's different drills we'll get to. Sure, I've seen the tennis ball drill. We'll throw bags eventually at the punt returners, which is just them working lateral to move and make a guy miss, the gunner make miss. We'll do cut press drills, just trying to teach them how to run in traffic. But the number one, ball security start. And can you track the ball, get to the spot, quiet feet. That's the first thing. Then after that, we work on the running part. We do film. I think the hardest thing, the first time we get popped. You know, not even out of hit, did the ball come away, stuff like that. So that's going to come through the preseason game.
There you go. That's Cam McCord. And I know it's a little difficult to hear, but I love the fact that he is demonstrating. You know, he's not just talking about it. He's actually demonstrating for the media how he wants things done and holding the ball and all that kind of different stuff. So anyway, some good stuff from Cam McCord. It gives you a little bit of insight anyway, for lack of a better term. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Bill Michaels Show, continuing on. Welcome back. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to hear from Micah Parsons. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Stenny's. Second and National, Walker's Point. By the way, they're running shuttles to Brewers games, Packers games, Badgers games, everything this year. And doing it from all the different locations. They're kind of figuring out what their schedule is going to be on North Donges Bay Road on the North Shore location in Mequon. But the other two, they're running full-blown shuttles. So let them know. They're taking some surveys online on their social media platforms to see what it is in the Mequon area you would like to have when it comes to shuttles. But from out in Lake Country and downtown, you better believe it. That's Second and National, Walker's Point, Watertown Road out in Pewaukee, that's Lake Country, and West Donges Bay Road in Mequon. That is Stenny's with the great Bloody Marys, the award-winning Bloody Marys, all the terrific wings and smash burgers and food and everything that they have, and just ice-cold beverages. That is Stenny's, and as they say, you should be here. Faux show. Got another hour of the program upcoming, which is awesome. And let's see here. This is from Chris said, I really like what Cam McCord had to say. I like the fact that he gets so intricate about it. Sounds a little bit like Rich Bisacci in the way he describes things, just seems to be a little more emphatic about it. Do you have faith in him? I don't know what to have faith in just yet. Right now I do. Nothing's gone wrong, right? They're not playing any regular season games. They're not losing games because coverage sucks or they can't get a good return or their kickers off on a continual basis. So right now everything's fine. We're just kind of looking at some of the red flags going, wait a minute, there's some issues here. And he was very upfront about those issues. I like that. I like the transparency there. It wasn't back and forth. It wasn't a contentious discussion between him and the media. It was just like, this is what's going on. This is how we're trying to teach him. This is, we're trying to figure things out. I kind of figure it's a day one thing, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not that simple. Seems to be, right? Another hour yet to go. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this. We'll be right back.
Hey. This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, it's an off day at Packers training camp. They're going to get back out there tomorrow before Friday's annual family night inside Lambeau Field. Tight end Tucker Kraft will likely practice, though he won't be going into any full-speed team drills just yet. That could come later this month. They're in joint practice with the Cardinals. All of it comes roughly 10 months after he tore his ACL. Meanwhile, Micah Parsons could just start running soon. Said it wouldn't be unrealistic to play in October, but he also cautioned fans when trying to compare his recovery to Kraft's.
I'm not even going to put a set return date because obviously me and Tuck had two different injuries. Him having an isolated ACL versus me battling between meniscus and ACL. When Tuck was walking that 4 weeks, I'm still in crutches, so it's a completely different. I did 7 weeks of crutches, Tuck is, so you could just add those 2 weeks right there. It's a whole different rehab program.
Again, the Packers off from practice today. They'll get back out there tomorrow. Turning to Wisconsin, they're going to get fall camp going tomorrow in Madison. Team announced today that they will hold an open practice for fans later this month. It'll take place August 18th at 7 o'clock. Wisconsin did not hold a public spring game in April, so this will be the first chance for fans to see this year's squad.
It's a summer of big wins with WinFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Just play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries and your chance to win cash and reward play all summer long. Then keep the excitement going because all your monthly drawing entries roll over into the WinFest final drawings on September 25th, where you could win cars, dream vacations, free play, and cash. Don't miss out on WinFest, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
The Brewers and Pirates facing off again tonight in Milwaukee after they split the first 2 games of the series. Kyle Harrison will make his return to the mound as he pitches for the first time since early July due to an elbow injury. Paul Skeets goes for the Pirates. First pitch is at 6:30. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil. Print.
How we're looking? Hour number 4, the Bill Michaels Show. Good to have you on board today. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Those are the numbers to get hold of us. You want to text us, you can. I'll get to more text messages coming up. More text messages coming up. 608-321-1670. 608-321-1670. Also, you can find us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. We're on Twitter, on X, @Bill_Michaels. Find Grant @Wisco Grant. The app is Wisco Sports Zone. Wisco Sports Zone. You can email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website simply thebillmichaels.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, which many of you have today. And thanks so much to everybody that's joined us. Erica, Larry, Trevor, Kat, Brandon, everybody that as we continue to get follows over there on the Instagram page, we thank you so much for that. We've added quite a few followers today, so that's great stuff. TikTok as well. You can also follow us on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app, and catch the television show Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time on My 24 TV. That's My 24 TV. We'll get coming up here in a little bit. We're going to hear from Micah Parsons, by the way. In the meantime, let's do this. Let's go to Tamarcus, listening to us in Eau Claire. Tamarcus, what's
on my stage, anybody that listens to 105.1 here in Eau Claire, we are blessed with some of the best radio hosts, I guess you can say. I get Dan Casper in the morning.
Yeah.
Then I get you, and then I get Stu God, and then I get Greg Bills at 4. You know what I'm saying? So it's an amazing day for me every day being able to listen to this. I got a few minutes here before I got to actually clock back into work. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to ask, just something I've been thinking about. Do you think, like, our receivers, given it? I mean, I know we have some pretty good receivers on the Packers, but do you think that now, given the fact that Tuckercraft is able to come back at 100%, we should possibly do what Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, like maybe become a tight end QB type of team until we get actual good enough wide receivers where we can actually throw the ball up and down the field to them. I'm going to leave you with that question and head back to work and listen to it.
All right, buddy.
Have a good day, guys.
You too, man. Appreciate you listening to us out in Eau Claire as well. I think, first of all, answer yes. I mean, if Tucker Kraft continues the trajectory that he was on last year, he will be an all-pro. And he is on his way to a tremendous career, and the connection between him and Jordan Love, yes, it will be emphatic when it comes to the offense. However, I think the fact that they thinned the herd, maybe, although, knock on wood, they don't have injuries, but maybe by thinning the herd and defining roles with Jaden Reed and Christian Watson and Matthew Golden, don't forget being a number 1 pick, a first-round pick. I think this is a group of people that can surprise people. I know there's not anybody that right now is like top 10 rated, right? You don't have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You don't have Justin Jefferson. You don't have some of these high end. You don't even have a guy like Zay Flowers or anything like that. But I think what you have is a lot of those guys that could be the diamonds in the rough that collectively can be really, really, really good. That's my opinion. Because even going back to when you had, say, go back to Greg Jennings. You had Greg Jennings, and then you had an emerging Jordy Nelson. And then Greg left, and Jordy came on. And then when Jordy was here and established, then came Devontae, and then Jordy left and you had Devontae. And, you could have but you also had a good group of guys, right? Everybody had a role. Donald Driver had a role. James Jones had a role. Everybody had a role, and they were all good. It wasn't like this. It wasn't like a dynamic group of players that you all were Hall of Famers. None of them were Hall of Famers, but everybody had a good role. You know what I mean? So you throw in Tucker Kraft, who is a tremendous, not only a pass catcher, but a run after the catch guy. And then you add in 3 capable wide receivers. Yeah, I think this group can be dynamic. I don't need an individual to be great. What I need is the group to be dynamically great. I think the sum is going to be better than its parts, if that makes sense. Good question, though. Good question. 877-867-1670. Big Ron, listen to us in Portugal. Ron, how you doing, man?
Good, Bill. I'm a long time listener, but this is my first time calling into your iteration of the show.
Awesome.
This current iteration. I go back to you all the way to the WTMJ days, man. Yeah. I'm an old timer, so yeah, and I love the program. The problem is I'm normally working, during the day, but I'm on vacation now, so I can call in. But I'm not, the middays are tough. I call into Evo and Grant Show all the time, but I'm normally working. But what I wanted to, I love the tiki bar. I love the holiday party, social media posts, man. I'm all over that stuff. So it's great.
Thank you.
It's good entertainment, man. But, no, I'm just really upset with the loyalty to Christian Yelich. I think he should be demoted in the lineup to like 7 and 8, and maybe platooned as well. What do you think about that? Because his splits are pretty egregious,
I know that Pat Murphy defended him and said he really doesn't need any defending. What he needs is support. I look at it this way. I think that, you support him right now because you're winning games. But once you get to the postseason, I agree with you. If he has not pulled out of this in the next month and it continues to spiral downward, I think they have to make a decision. I think he will then force them to make a decision because of the lack of productivity. You can't keep on this pace right now. What did I say earlier today? He is 14 of 72, batting 184. He's taken now 20 strikeouts and only 9 walks. His on-base percentage is down. His batting average is down. He's not playing the field. So it's not like, you can say, well, his defense is keeping him in the game, because it's not. He's not doing anything. You're there as a DH, and if you can't even – part of DH is designated hitter. If you're not a hitter, then what the hell good are you? So I think they're going to really give him every opportunity to battle through this. And if he comes out of it, great. Then they can just say, hey, we stuck with him. Everybody supported him. It's great that Christian's back. But I think if it continues in a downward spiral, he's going to force them to make a decision of some type, because you cannot run him out there batting 184 and thinking you're going to go up against the Dodgers and all of a sudden start winning games with him being a sinkhole in the lineup. I agree with you.
Yeah, and he disappears in the playoffs. I mean, he's got like a career, like 225 career play, something like that.
218 or 221, one of the two.
Yeah, with like 2 home runs and 6 RBIs, all in 2018. That's the one year he produced. I think he had a home run in Game 7, but against the Dodgers in 2018. But he hasn't had an RBI since 2018.
Right.
And the guy's hitting like even south of 218 since 2018. So he disappears in the playoffs. We gotta just, hey, it was, it was a great ride. It was good fun, but he needs to be designated to, where he belongs.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that, man. I would agree with that. I think at this point in time that if he can't pick it up and force a better decision, then I think they're going to have a decision to make without a doubt. Appreciate the phone call. By the way, even again, if you look at his splits, like against lefties, he's better. He's batting 244, but it's 244. He's batting 226 against righties. It's not like he's just tearing up left-handed pitching and he's really just struggling with righties. The funny thing is he's only batting 226 against right-handers, but he's got 5 home runs against right-handers. He's only got 2 home runs against left-handers. That's the weird part about it. He's better batting average wise against lefties, but his power comes more from righties and mistakes that righties make when they leave one out over the plate and they don't pick that outside corner. They bring it on the inner portion of the plate, and he's able to power the ball that way. So just a weird statistic. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free to go ahead and do so. 877-867-1670. I got some text messages to get to out of the 608. If Trey Smack can't make a kick with a 12-mile-an-hour crosswind and the practice facility, it doesn't matter what the wind is inside of Lambeau because you're not kicking it there. If you can't make it outside in practice, you're not going to make it at Lambeau on game day without making the proper adjustments, right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, look, there's a level of protection going on, and rightfully so. I understand it. Okay? They're giving him all the opportunity in the world. But at some point, and again, I look, as Rob Reischel said, Mike Clemens said, people have alluded, it's a weekend. I even talked about it. Your weekend. Today is 1 week since they started training camp. 1 week. So I get it. Let's see what happens in family night when you got 70,000 screaming at you. Let's see what happens. Because everybody knows now. If you're a Packers fan of any ilk, you're following along, right? Everybody knows there's been somewhat of a struggle at camp. When you're 8 of 13, you've missed 5 kicks at camp. When you're 8 of 13, everybody knows. We're looking at it from what it was last year to what it is now. Everybody knows you're struggling. So that's where the watchful eye is going to be. We're all going to be looking at that on Friday night. Family night, here it is. And they're going to line up, do some special team stuff. Trey Smack, here we go. And everybody's cheering. Here's the snap. Here's the kick. Flop. No good. Sorry about your luck. And that's when the boos begin to rain down. Because people are going to say, well, here we go again. Here we go again. First time it's going to be, oh, man, I wish he would have made it. And then if he goes, 5 of 6, okay, all right, 5 of 6, there you go. Maybe he's kind of felt the pressure and he kind of worked through it. All right, great. But if he goes 3 of 6, 2 of 6, it won't be good. It won't, because the ugly memories of last season are still too fresh. It won't be good. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. I got emails to get to. Holy mackerel, got a lot of emails. Let's see here. First and foremost, going back to the Yelich thing, from Baseball Reference, Yelich is under contract through 2028 with a mutual option for 2029. That would be the end of his deal. That's from our buddy Kevin. Kevin up in Mosinee. Kevin, you the man. Haven't heard from Kevin in a while either. Jack says, how do these younger players think when they are supposed to, what do these younger players think when they're supposed to see Yelich as a veteran, but hits into grounders or whiffs on a continuous basis or watches one go by him? Who would want to even trade for him at this point? Even if Cheapo Mark doesn't want to get rid of him. I think 2 things. When you're a younger player, he's a veteran. He's made his bones. You give him an amount of respect. I get it. But nobody would want him in a trade, not with that kind of money. So, and besides, it's a moot point anyway, because you're not trading him away, not until after the season, because the trade deadline's already come and gone. Our buddy Steve writes, happy hump day. Nice win by the Crew last night after the pitch walk to start the game. Logan Henderson pitched a great game. 2 mistakes on the home runs, but one was a wall scraper. Brewers fans need to remember that all phases of baseball is contagious: pitching, hitting, and fielding. They're all going through slumps right now, but as well as slumps are contagious, so are hot streaks. The Brewers are due for one, if not more of their hot streaks. Let's hope they can get themselves on a roll. Great pitching matchup tonight with Skeens and Harrison going at it. This should be a great game. Have a happy hump day. That's our buddy Steve in Richfield. Steve, you're the man. Thank you very much. Reed says, with all this talk about Christian Yelich being demoted or sent down in the lineup or being traded away, how do you think he feels? Do you think he's struggling in his own mind right now, or do you think it's actually an injury? I don't know. Haven't heard a lot from him. Haven't read a lot from him. Haven't read quotes from him, to be honest with you. You're a veteran. You're getting paid a lot of money. You know you're the leader of the team. If you don't have a conscience, or a soul, you got to feel bad about what's going on. You got to know that you're letting the team down. You got to know that people are rooting for you. There's a lot of Yelich jerseys floating around in the stadium. You got to know that people are, rooting for you to succeed, and you're letting a lot of people down, including yourself. So I don't want to read too much into it. It is what it is, Aaron says, hey, Bill, the latest edition of the Packers' arrogance was on display yesterday when Matt LaFleur made the comment about the kicking situation. When him and Huber were going back and forth, he said, what's the big deal anyway? I took that as him saying, I don't know who you think you are, but you don't need to know, nor do you deserve to know whether or not he's making kicks. We owe you nothing. That's a very Packer thing to do in this day and age, unfortunately. I know we want to remain optimistic and to wait and see, but there have been very few days this camp so far where LaFleur just crushes that dream. Or there have been a few days this camp where LaFleur just crushes that dream. It seems like Matt LaFleur has doubled down on his softness, but why not? He got the extension. May as well continue to do what got him here. That's Aaron, one of countless Packers fans who do think that it's a big deal if he makes kicks or misses kicks. Mr. Asshat LaFleur, as he calls him. So there you go. That's Aaron listening to us as well. Aaron, appreciate the email. Yes, it's a big deal if he misses kicks or makes kicks. Is it a big deal in week one? It's only a big deal in week one because he also was missing kicks in OTAs and minicamps. So that has filtered into the training camp where now you're starting to get things that are being counted. We're starting to add things up. We're starting to report a lot more on what does and doesn't work for Green Bay. So yes, it does matter. I agree with you. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Find us. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Game Day Men's Health. I talk about them all the time. I went in for the testosterone replacement, and it's been absolutely fantastic. I do the peptides, which is great for muscle growth and weight loss and such, which is awesome. Down 27 pounds and hanging right there. I'd like to go a little bit further, but doing really, really well. And whether it's testosterone, weight loss, whether it's peptides for muscle growth, energy levels, erectile dysfunction, they've got something for everybody, whatever it is you need. I've been saying if you're over the age of 30, just go in and get your numbers checked, and they can test you, and they can put you on a path that will get you back to feeling great, looking great, and all that kind of good stuff. That's Game Day Men's Health. I go to the one, there's two of them, one in Delafield and one in Brookfield that I go to. That's because Jennifer works at both of them. But they have them in Hales Corners, they have them in New Berlin, all over the city of Milwaukee, all over the state of Wisconsin. To find the location nearest you, all you got to do is this, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That is GameDayMen'sHealth.com. And stop in and just tell them we sent you. Get your numbers checked. Get your numbers checked. And that's, they can help you right then and there and say, okay, you're deficient here. This is really good. What do you need? What are you feeling? How do you want to be? And they can put you on that path. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome. Good stuff. Really good stuff. 877-867-1670. This portion of our program brought to you by our friends at Potawatomi. I'm looking forward to going to Carter this year. We're going to go to Carter, Wisconsin, and do a Green Gold postgame show when the Packers are on the road in October. Just waiting to find out what the date is. But looking forward to that. So for all the information, for everything that they have going on regarding that, go to Potawatomi.com. That is Potawatomi.com. Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. They have them in Milwaukee. Also, like I said, the one up in Carter. But so many different things going on at Potawatomi. All kinds of good stuff. They got fall specials with the Cream City Coffee Group. That's in there. They got that marketplace, which is really, really cool when you go down. I mean, I obviously I go down, do a little bit of a slot guy. I don't do it a whole lot because I'm not really good at it. I'm just kind of throwing money away. But always stopping in for the sports book. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Thursday night, it is prime rib night. Oh, my goodness. Dream Dance Steakhouse. Every Friday, they've got what they consider to be the Milwaukee Midwest fish fry, the best fish fry every Friday night. I've never had their fish fry, but I know one thing. They have got fantastic prime rib at Dream Dance every Thursday night. Every Thursday night, the prime rib dinner special. It includes wine, by the way, if you're a wine connoisseur. If not, whatever. They got half off select bottles of wine, too, with the prime rib night. So don't forget about that. Oh, my God, is that good. That is really, really good. That's our friends at Potawatomi. Go to Potawatomi.com, Potawatomi.com. Good stuff. Micah Parsons sat down, spoke with the media, and he's anticipating coming back. He's anticipating being ready. He's excited for that. Take a listen to Micah Parsons.
So how did that children's book come about?
Yeah. Just about, I think it's about the adversities and challenges I went through in my life and how I just stayed resilient and just how when you can adapt to that lion mentality, you can do anything. So we just thought it was a good idea to kind of share that story worldwide.
Did some of those on your mind for a while?
I think over the time it's a way to get to as many kids as we wanted to. I think this was a great opportunity to do that. We've been working on it for over about a year and a half, 2 years.
Where did that lion mentality originate?
I would say it started, as a kid. As a kid, my dad kind of just threw me in sports as I could do. And he kind of was like, whether you win or lose, I'm proud of you, but I always wanted to win. And I was kind of like really tore up when I didn't win. And so I just kind of really, I was like, I always wanted to win, and I just hated to lose, and I did everything I possibly could to win and win and win. And it just developed in me over time.
So it was only right that you went to Penn State.
Yeah, it's kind of like, close to home, everything right. So it worked out great.
Have you lost in Connect Four since the last time we talked to you?
No. I'm still undefeated.
So,
for any challengers.
I think a little over 7 months out from surgery. What are you looking to cross off next, and how much progress have you made in the last 2 months since we talked to you?
Made a lot of, I'm running, I'm moving around. I'm at a plyo stage. I'm in my plyos, and then the Conquers. After we finish D-cell, will be change direction, and hopefully we accomplish that by in 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks. We're blocking each phase off in the 6-week phase, so we're right where we should be, and as a training staff and myself, we're excited and happy where I'm at, and just excited to keep working.
I think you mentioned the 9 months no football. Tucker returned a little bit before that. Do you have your eye on that week 4 week of practice, because that's the 9 months, or are you not even putting a set, I guess, return date for when you're targeting to get back?
Yeah, I'm not even going to put a set return date, because obviously me and Tuck had 2 different injuries. Him having the isolated ACL versus me battling between meniscus and ACL. So when Tuck was walking at 4 weeks, I'm still in crutches. So it's a completely different. I did 7 weeks of crutches while Tuck is. So you could just add those 3 weeks right there. It's a whole different rehab program because you're trying to protect the meniscus. So I don't even like to compare. I'm happy that Tuck's back and he's in a great shape and position, because I know how much he wants to win, and I know how much this offseason meant to him, and just be back with the team. So I'm just happy about that, and I just work every day so I can join those guys.
I don't know if you can dive into it, but I guess, what is a day in the life like for you now going through this process? How many hours do you have to put into it? Just, what is this process like?
I would say from, 6:45 wake up to I'm in the building by 7:30 to I'm in the mortal chamber for 30 minutes. And then I go do my some table work at 8 once I get out the mortal chamber. And then I go to team meeting, then I come back, a hot tub, warm my body up, and then me and Nate work for about an hour on the table. And then I go through a series of stretches and mobility to keep my hips, my ankles, and everything good. And that takes about an hour. Then we go down to practice at 10:30. And then from 10:30 to about 12:30-ish, 1, I'm with Nate, and we're doing running, lifting, the whole shebang. And then from there, I'm about to go do post rehab with Nate for another hour or so. And then I got meetings and walkthroughs until 7:30. And I can't really participate in walkthroughs, so I just watch and sit to the side and talk to Nate a little bit.
What's the hardest part, watching them on the field practicing or going through what you have to go through your rehab?
I tell guys all the time, I'd rather be practicing than rehabbing. Like, rehab is definitely way worse because, while guys may get breaks in between reps, we're grinding for 2-3 hours straight, like no breaks, and we're hitting the gas because Nate has a job to do and I got a job to do. So we have this time frame where we got to maximize it. So, someone like me, we're working from really 9 to 12-ish in the afternoon, and I appreciate all the time that Nate spends with me. He's really become like a close friend of mine and someone that I can really talk to and go through this process with.
Have you seen this many blitzes from this many different people than what Cannon's done out there so far?
In camp, yeah. In camp, you kind of throw it all in there, but when the season comes, you only run with about 10, 12 plays, truly, and maybe some end-game wrinkles. You'll never have this much in the system, and then you kind of get the new system when I come back. So, everything will change and things will come out. We'll probably keep some of that freaky stuff for the game, but it'll be very interesting to see what we actually do when the season starts.
Mike, of the play that you got injured on, I'm guessing felt like any other play until it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever wonder why? What was different about that play? Why wasn't that play that led to that result?
You know, it's hard to really think. I could just think of it was just accumulative things within my body pushing through the no camp, the dealing with injuries throughout the season, and I just think my body just was overloaded, and which caused my knees to give out. But you know, I don't really think why the situation happened. I think based off of how I feel at this point, I feel like a much better player in the sense of how I feel. I feel more stable. I feel stronger. I probably was blind to a lot of things that I probably should have been working on that I got a chance to correct and get stronger during this process. So for anything, for the longevity of my career, I think this was, it's almost like, baseball. I talked to a baseball guy. He's like, we want a pitcher that kind of go through the Tommy Johns because it's like he got it out the way, So hopefully I got my injury out the way and I can, based off what Elijah said, give me another 6 to 10 years. So I'm really excited about that.
A couple of weeks coming off an injury like this, talking about needing to regain trust in the league once they're back out. How's the process going to be like for you, especially with such a basic like to the injury? Like, do you feel like you're going to need to regain that trust?
I think you trust about the work you kind of put in during the 9 to 10 month extensive process that you have. I think that's kind of where the trust in. Now, how you play, we're still trying to figure out how to put me through those things that I go through in the game with the intensity that I play at. We're still trying to process that and go through those changes because obviously it's a double level of intensity from how I play and how I rehab. So we still have to figure. We got ways to go to get to that.
A couple of.
There you go. Let's do this. We'll stop it there. We'll come back. We'll listen to the rest of what Micah Parsons has to say as he sits down and chats with the media a little bit from yesterday. This portion of our program brought to you by our friends at San Giorgio and right next door is Calderon Club, the best Italian food you're going to have. 838 Old World 3rd Street. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be down there on Saturday night. I got a dinner with some friends that are coming to town. And can't wait to get down there. That's the place that everybody requests every time somebody comes to town. Looking forward to it. So Calderon Club's where we're going to be. San Giorgio right next door. And I just absolutely positively cannot wait. Looking forward to it. 838 Old World 3rd Street, downtown Milwaukee. And if you're down there on Saturday night, see you there.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
We are now open in Madison. Stand by for details on how much it costs to borrow $1,000 from Dollar Loan Center. We offer signature loans up to $5,000 in minutes, and you don't need great credit or collateral. No checking account required, no application fees, and you only pay interest for the time you have the loan out. So if you need $1,000, it'll only cost you $7.56 per day. You can keep it out for a week, a month, a year. That's up to you. For new customers, the first week's interest is even on us. Give DLC a shot. You'll be glad you did. Visit us in Madison at 4100 East Washington Avenue or in Janesville, Beloit, Beaver Dam, and more.
Licensed and regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions. Payment amounts based on biweekly pay frequency with annual percentage rate of 275%. For additional cost information, call 866-550-4352. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Get back into Michael Parsons coming up here momentarily. Every time we get a hold of our buddy Mike Clemens, he is brought to you by the Bay Motel in Green Bay. Quiet, cozy, comfortable, just a mile from Lambeau Field. And the Bay Family Restaurant has home style cooking 7 days a week. Go to BayMotelGreenBay.com. That is BayMotelGreenBay.com or call direct 920-494-3441. 920-494-3441. There you go. Let's get back at it. Michael Parsons talking to the media. Take a listen.
A couple of weeks ago, you read a statement you posted where you said, I'm not going to come back the same player. That's a standard. Could you explain that? What's your thought there?
I think, to say you're going to be the same player as, I think when you come out of these situations, you're either going to be better or you're worse. And for me, I've done everything I possibly can to be better. So, I think people are worried about, if I come back, I just feel like people should just be worried about, how I'm going to be when I come back. That's kind of like my mentality, and how I feel and how I'm going to approach when I'm back is like, people are worried about the knee. They should be worried about how I'm going to play when I get back. The anger, the frustration, the things that I'm going to have to let out because, how long it's been since I played. So I think that's what people should really worry about, like, how great is Micah going to be when he gets back? Not about when I get back, because that's the short term. It's about how great I'm going to be, how I can help my teammates, and, how far we're going to go into a playoff run.
Mike, it's part of jeopardy, watching how many plays play a game. In the middle of that, you're playing a ton of plays each game. Do you think that's something you have to kind of monitor for your overall long-term? I don't necessarily say so. I feel like if we're going to go that route of like the NBA guys of like, they need to play so many snaps or games or whatever, I'm in the wrong sport. We talked about this. Would you rather have peak or longevity? I'd rather have peak. I'd rather maximize my 8, 9, 10 years that I have of this game and know that I put everything out on the line than to have 15 years and say, I was only good for a couple because I tried to play the longevity game and not go all out. So I'd rather have the peak for real. And, if I do play less snaps, I'm fully trust that a bunch of these guys in the locker room can uphold the standard when I do get breaks.
Barron had a 60-yard pick six at practice today, and then he said afterward, ask the guys, they all know I have the best hands in the room.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? And did you teach him that when you guys were training this offseason together?
I mean, the speed and explosiveness, that I would take that, but the hands, I mean, if it was like a drop, like he dropped in the hook and picked off a nice little jumped in the air screen, but off a screen, I don't know if I'm gonna give him. That's like a lob. That's like you out in the backyard playing with your friends. Like, I can't give him best hands off of that. Like,
he said he has receiver and tight end background early on.
I'm not gonna lie. Do y'all believe that? like, there's no film to back this. Of those, like, we can look at my running back film. Like, there's proof of that. Like, I gotta see proof. I gotta see ability of you, like, head topping somebody. Like, we need to see how good that skill was at receiver and tight end that he claims. No, because on his huddle, I just see defensive end. You saw defensive end, nothing more.
As a defensive end, how different does he look now as opposed to when he got here? He's obviously going through the rookie ropes, and he's got that full year under his belt now.
I think he's from the end of the season, and how he approached me, how he told me he wanted to get better. From February all the way until July 17th. He did everything he possibly could to become a better player, and I think it's showing how he's playing, how confident he is. Everything. I tell him, I say, you finally starting to get abs. Like, starting to look like a football player. You're not looking like a rook no more. So it's just things like that where he just put so much time and passion. And even when I was in the rehab phase and he was out there with Colin and Stack and all those guys at the house, he was still leading. So, I told DC, I said, you should count on Barron as being a leader, because he was holding those guys to the standard that I would expect him to do. So the way he approached it, I'm really proud of him, and I'm expecting him to still continue to keep getting better. He gets mad at me when I'm not at practice because he's like, you can't watch my plays. I'm like, I can watch them in the film room, because I got to get better. I was like, don't you want me to get better players? So it matters that, he cares about my input and how much, it means to him to be a part of this process. And I'm just happy I can still kind of make that impact, even though I'm not on the field. And I think that's going to be the biggest growth of the team in the defensive room, with me still making an impact, not on the field, but bringing guys along so that way when I do get back, we're still playing at an even higher level or better level.
You've obviously preached this is not about short term, it's about having you healthy for years beyond this. I think a lot of people are going to look at that Cowboys game here, not only for the timeline, but because of the storyline. Is that realistic for you to play in or not?
Yeah, I think it's very realistic. I just gotta, as me and the staff we gotta put the work in. We gotta get to the point where I'm feeling great, and we all say, Michael, you'll be in a really good phase. Is it possible? Yes. So I wouldn't say it's not possible, but at the same time, it's in these next, how many weeks is that?
It's week 6.
10 weeks? What is it, 10, 12 weeks from now? I don't know. We got to do our part to make it possible, but, it's not off the board, but we got to put the work in.
Galen told you to give a movie around here last year.
Yeah, for sure. He tells me that he got some plays and packages waiting for when I get back, so I'm excited about that, and I think we'll really make a lot of noise on defense.
Mike, is it difficult to rush against Jordan Love?
I mean, from my personal experience, I don't think so. But from what I see, yeah, for sure. That 6'5" frame, I mean, he can throw over anybody. He's super elusive in the pocket. He can really just make any throw. I mean, watching him from the sidelines in the film, I don't think people grasp how good he is against the blitz. Versus, smaller quarterbacks where they might struggle with the crowd of people. He has that, ability to look over it and still find guys that he needs to. And I think Gannon's saying that out here in practice too. That you got to make sure it's in the right place when he blitzes Jordan Love.
Like when your braces off?
Yeah. When Invisalign came knocking at my door, it was like, you want to try Invisalign? I said, sure. So now I'm in Invisalign for another 16 weeks. I'm going to see how it goes.
Mike, so much of the narrative this offseason has been about finishing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me that this team was pretty good at finishing when it had you on the field, though. And I'm not sure the Bears games go the way they went if you're healthy. What is the value in that being something that everybody's focusing on? So then when you're back, maybe that makes you guys an even better finishing team. But how big of a role do you play in whether a team is good at finishing or not?
I think it's the reason why I got brought here, right? I got brought here to win big time games and close games and do what I do when there's a lead. I mean, I feel fully confident if Jordan Love gives me 21 points, I can get to the quarterback because he has to hold the ball. That's where my biggest impact of the game could come into place. But, in the position I am now, that's why it's in my power and my ability to help these guys understand finishing and understand that, you got to hold the standard of what it means to finish. And they get mad at him in practice saying, stay away from Jordan and all this, but I tell them this is where you learn your habits of finishing. And even though Matt hates that I say it, I was like, that means they should block better. Don't hold that against us. These guys need to learn how to turn the corner. They need to learn how to track and do those things. And those things don't happen on Sundays. Those things happen in practice. And I know there's limits and there's guidelines of it, but I'm excited from what I've seen, how these guys are finishing and progressing in their rush and how they're attacking. And it's only going to make, Jordan Morgan and those guys better.
It was awesome.
Thanks, Micah.
There you go, Micah Parsons talking to the media and saying, "Hey, let us loose, man. Don't make us play soft. Let us loose. We want to play loose. Matt's not going to like this, but let us play loose. Let us go. Let us get after it. Then if you can't block us, then you got to block better." I can't necessarily argue with that. Good stuff. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to come back. When we do, we'll wrap things up. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show upcoming. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Forgotten Fire Winery. We were at Lake Fire Winery last Friday. Don't forget about Forgotten Fire Winery, which is in Peshigo, Wisconsin. Forgotten Fire. They sent me. I got 2 bottles. I got a Merlot and then I got a Moscato. I got 2 bottles of Moscato and I got a Merlot when I came home. They're just so good. I'm taking 1 bottle of Moscato. I know bikers don't usually drink, but I'm taking a bottle of Moscato with me out to Sturgis for that night around the campfire, for that night sitting there, just kind of watching, the sunset and over in the hills and the Bear Butte and everything. It's beautiful out there. So little music, maybe a little wine, good stuff. Forgotten Fire Winery, Lake Fire Winery. Lake Fire Winery is in Bailey's Harbor up in Door County. It's a great place to go. And I just had some friends that went there. They couldn't make it up when I was there, but they went there over the weekend. They had a great time. They couldn't believe how nice the place was. Forgotten Fire Winery in Peshtigo, the original Lake Fire Winery. That's in Bailey's Harbor.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Don't forget about our friends at Point Brewing. And yes, I have 12 of the Point Light going out to Sturgis, South Dakota with me. Point Light, the newest beverage from our friends at Point Brewing. Brewing local, brewing at Stevens Point, Wisconsin since 1857. Yeah. Thanks to our friends at Point Brewing. Tasty, Very few carbs, very few calories. Point Light, one of the newest members of the Point Brewing family. Good stuff. Good stuff. Tonight, you've got, let's see here. What else do we have? We've got Brewers baseball, by the way. The Brewers are on a national TV tonight, ESPN, as a matter of fact. Brewers and Pirates. It's a good one, too. Kyle Harrison coming back. Paul Skeens on the hill. The Brewers beat Skeens here last year when Miz made his debut, don't forget. 6:30 tonight, first pitch down there at American Family Field. Right now, bottom of the second, the Cubs and the Dodgers knotted up at 1 apiece in that one. Kind of paying attention to what's going on just south of the border. The Giants and the Rangers today. Those are the games that are in progress right now. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Astros just got underway a little while ago, too. They're scoreless. You've got the Reds hosting the A's. You have St. Louis on the road taking on the Yankees. That's later on tonight also. And that's, I believe that's it for the National League Central. Yeah, that's it for the National League Central. So there you go, all kind of caught up. And then tomorrow we'll be back at it yet again. But don't forget, tomorrow we're going to be at the Wisconsin State Fair. And going to be at the Bud Pavilion and the Goose Island Ale House. We're really looking forward to that. So we hope if you're going to the fair, if you're going to enjoy the fair tomorrow during the day, come on over and say hello. We'd love to put a name to a face and all that kind of good stuff. And shake a hand and come over and say hi. So we're looking forward to that. So at the Wisconsin State Fair tomorrow, it's everything and anything on a stick, but I'm looking forward to eating beer ice cream tomorrow. So looking forward to that as well. Anything we missed today, Grant, off the top of your head?
No, I'm picking through these Cam Accord comments. It sounds like he's trying to teach this kicker how to,
I know,
go to the moon.
How to kick.
And look, I'm not trying to criticize a coach, because if he made it sound stupid and simple, then we'd criticize him for not taking it seriously. Right. And do you know how to train a kicker? But they're talking about this guy like he's never kicked before in his life.
Right.
So that's what I want to dig into a little bit on my show tonight. So
yep.
More kicker talk. Great.
Yep. What else do we have here? Oh, you know what we got coming up too is one of the co-directors of the film Uke is going to be joining us here in the next day or two too. So I'm setting that up. So we could be talking about the Uke movie that is out. So looking forward to that as well. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to be eating beer ice cream tomorrow. And I'm going to be stuffing my grill with some of those brownies. I've been dieting for a while, so I'm ready to go. Can do one of those brownies tomorrow. I got to take a bunch of those out to Sturgis, South Dakota with me as well. So until we talk again, 20 hours from now, live from the Wisconsin State Fair, which I can't wait. It's one of my favorite times of year. It is time for us to get out of here. Brewers coming up later on tonight, nationally televised. Hopefully Harrison comes back and throws a gem. Looking forward to it. Win the series. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Christian Yelich gets off the schneid a little bit too tonight. We can dare to dream, right? We can dream for a good kicker. We can dream for Yelich to start hitting the ball again. Why not? Are we asking too much of the gods? Maybe. But we'll talk about it tomorrow. Until then, time for us to go.